Hey everybody, thank you very much for joining us. My name is Andrew Smith. With me tonight as co-hosts are Misty Winston and Magnus. And then we will be having Nico jumping in just a second. For guests, we have Cara Castronova joining us in just a moment. There's Nico. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, y'all.
Nico,
Forgive me. I'm trying to wolf this salad down, y'all. I'm
you're
hungry.
fine. You're fine.
Good,
Go
buddy.
ahead.
We got Cara Castronova joining us in just a moment, as well as Rose McGowan. But first, I do want to run through the numbers with everybody. We are at day 3,958 of illegal and arbitrary detention for Julian Assange. 922 days have passed since the WikiLeaks founder was trafficked from the Ecuadorian embassy after being sold for a $4.2 billion loan from the IMF to the nation of Ecuador. We have 283 days since Vanessa Breitzer's January 6th ruling denying Julian Assange bail after personally ordering his release and ruling no extradition in his case. We have 1,513 days of inhumane pretrial detention for the alleged Vault 7 whistleblower Joshua Schultz, and at least 155 of those days have been spent in special administrative measures. We have 921 days since the political persecution of Olivini started at the hands of the Ecuadorian government. We have 133 days since Commander X was illegally taken from Mexico by DEA agents and renditioned to the United States. We have 83 days of detention have been served by Craig Murray for the crime of publishing in the United Kingdom. In his charges, the British Crown specifically cites his publication of Julian Assange's court trial for why he's such an impactful journalist and should be prosecuted. We have 129 days since whistleblower Reality Winner was moved to house arrest and is expected to be moved to parole on November 3rd of this year. We have 583 days of freedom for Chelsea Manning, who still does regularly stream to Twitch. We have 233 days of freedom for Jeremy Hammond, who is still on parole for a little over 2 years now, but he is free of any type of detention centers or anything like that. So with that, how are you doing today, Misty?
I'm doing really well. I do just want to mention quickly that today our friend Liv was arrested in DC at the Water Protectors protest. So there's some kind of funding going on for her bail. So if you can go support Liv, that'd be great. She got arrested today, so she's a badass.
Yep, wearing the End the Damn War shirt, which got me in the news again. So today's been fun. So.
That's a hell of a picture of her too, though. Straight, yeah. Like 2 officers directly on top of her. It's pretty nuts.
And if you've ever, I just had her on Bit. She's like the nicest, sweetest, like bubbly, and so it's awesome to see her out there. It sucks to see her getting brutalized by pigs, but it's cool to see her out there getting it done. So support her bail efforts, please and thank you.
So I'm just now finding out that my channel isn't suspended anymore on YouTube. Could y'all just stream from it?
No, I know. I'm excited. We're actually on
okay.
First time in months.
Wish they would have given me a notice, but okay. Whatever.
Oh, YouTube.
Oh, my rock fin's not working. How are you doing, Rose? Thank you so much for hopping in with us.
Oh, she just dropped.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, we're so good at this, you guys. We really are.
Professionalism.
Really. I mean, this is the most professional scripted show on the interwebs. Mm-hmm. I don't know how anybody could deny it at this point.
Laugh track's going to play any moment now.
Yeah. So, Lucky's here. Natalie's here. Natalie, sorry we were late. Sorry. Wardier's here. Indy's here. I'm trying to get better at reading the chat, y'all. So let's go. Emma's here. Hi, Emma.
Hello.
Emma. Andrew, how are you doing today, good sir?
I am doing wonderful. It's been like hell week in my life this week, but I'm glad that it's over with.
Wait. I know. I needed to do a couple of things. First of all, Craig Murray was switched to a different cell. There's a tweet up giving the updated information if you're going to be writing to him. Daniel Hale has been transferred to a new prison location. I'm not sure if we know specifics yet, but while everybody else is talking, I'll check into it. And then also Ola Benny, we mentioned him while we were running through the numbers. His trial is coming up. He tweeted on October 7th that in 2 weeks the trial against him starts. So I don't know a specific date. I did DM him. It's hard to say, asking for a specific date on when his trial starts. But if you're not familiar with this case, please familiarize yourself with it. He's awesome.
I'm in indirect communication with his legal team.
Oh, okay.
So he
well, then you ask him.
I can't. I'm asking like a friend to ask him, but we may be able to get one of his lawyers on to talk about his situation. He probably won't make an appearance himself, but we may be able to get one of his representatives.
Well, he may be in jail.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm trying to find Daniel Hale stuff.
Okay?
Yeah, I can hear. I had to switch headphones. Apologies. Hello, everybody. I don't know who's listening to me. Hi.
It's good to have you.
I am very thrilled to be here in my soggy-brained. I accidentally mixed tequila and mezcal last night, and so that is how that day went. Yes,
those are called happy accidents.
Yeah.
I accidentally mixed Don Julio and pineapple last night.
Whoops-a-daisy.
It went great.
That sounds. Well, I live in Mexico, so that sounds like a really great idea.
It was.
Tequila and mezcal? Not a good idea. Not a good idea.
Whoopsie.
Put some alcohol in your alcohol. It'll be fun.
Oh my gosh.
No, nothing bad ever happened from that.
No, I'm feeling peachy fucking keen.
Well, we won't keep you for long. I'm sure that it sucks to be trying to.
No, I'm actually happy that I'm a little less wobbly than before. So I'm very excited to be here and to be amongst very like-minded humans, likely with more than 3% alien in their DNA. So that helps immensely.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's 35 at least. 35%.
Yeah, I always say baseline 3% is what you want to get to. Beyond there, keep going.
Oh, negative blood, guys.
Now we know.
For real. But we're excited to have you, Rose, because you have been like an outspoken advocate for Julian Assange, which is really difficult to come by. We bother a lot of people trying to get support for Julian Assange, and it's really difficult. So we appreciate you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate anybody that's out there trying to, or actually, doing the work that they say they're doing instead of performative. As long as you don't say the bad word, you're golden. That's all they have to do. And it's a lot more involved, and it's not fun. I no longer live in the U.S. because they tried to put me in prison for 10 years for a felony in Virginia from like a planted situation, a drug situation. I don't know if there ever actually were any drugs. I do believe the police department was entirely bought off, and it was
do.
Well, they would track me on the way to any public appearance I would make. I was contractually obligated that I had to tweet about the stupid thing or promote it. So it's the one time sorry, to go back, everybody, in case you don't know, I was stalked and harassed by Harvey Weinstein and his wildly powerful Democratic crew for like 23 years. And it's still going. 2 weeks ago, my car is basically totaled, but I'm shocked I'm here. I was driven off the road by a white man in a sedan at night. The next night, I check into my Airbnb somewhere else, and my car rolled across the median into oncoming traffic on the highway here. The next night, I check into an Airbnb interview, and I leave for dinner, come back. The door is totally off the hinges, just standing in the middle of the room. Nothing taken. It is. And then Experian, the U.S. credit, I don't know if it's global or just U.S., but Experian, I am now not only, my accountant is like, I've never seen anything like this. I'm like, welcome to me. It is not just my credit history that just got wiped, but me. I don't exist in the financial system in the U.S.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I did not know that was happening.
Yeah. I knew about the door thing. I saw your tweet.
Knew about the door.
Yeah, I knew about the door, but I did not know about your credit stuff. That's
the car.
That's different.
Well,
that's eerily familiar to what happened to me, because they booted my door and didn't take anything, didn't do anything. They just kicked my door in. And I was like,
I just want to let you know you're there. They just want to let you know. And it's it's funny because I don't do, and Andrew was very kind to give me advice, but I still have not changed my phone number. Like, I don't care. They're just going to clone another one. What's the point? What's the point? And people like higher security, everybody that I paid immense amount, like all my money, I don't have any anymore, because I had to pay to basically put a rapist in jail in a bizarre way. And and to stay out of jail myself for putting rapists in jail. You know how you get punished for that sort of thing. In this really twisted world. And Assange, actually, I went to London about 4 years ago now and moved there. And this woman named Jennifer Robinson barnacled to me. And ultimately, I believe, I'm sorry, she's your friend. I don't really know the full scoop there, but she was going on about being Assange's lawyer, and then really just wanted a bunch of setup photo ops but I had to pay a lot of money for that too, so makes sense. And then she's like, oh, I can't actually legally represent you. I'm like, what are we doing? What's happening? So, but she did say something that was interesting. She's like, I've never seen someone so fucked with that wasn't directly being fucked with by the U.S. government. But I think the fact that I'm suing super lawyer David Boyce from Boyce Schiller Flexner, now Boyce Schiller, who's Bill Clinton's longtime attorney. He's Harvey Weinstein's longtime attorney. He argued pro-gay marriage in the Supreme Court, won, and was Al Gore's lawyer in Gore v. Bush. And I'm suing him and a super feminist attorney named Lisa Bloom and Black Cube and Weinstein and under the RICO Act in the U.S. But I don't trust my lawyers, so there we go. And that's my status. But Jennifer Robinson is one of the people she did, and I was like, well, I mean, he's Bill Clinton's lawyer, so kind of am being fucked with by the government. And I go after Biden, for his rapey ways and child sniffing and everything. And it's so dark. And I get asked a lot, like, what's your advice? How do I stay safe in the U.S.? I'm like, get out. Get out. Because you're going to pay, like in Mexico, you don't even pay first, last, and deposit. It's just first and last. No, it's just first and deposit. And if you have to restart your life, just start somewhere else because it's not getting better there. It will not get better. It's happened. It's happening. And if there's any way that you can do what you do from not there, I highly recommend it. And the countries that are the ones that don't have the financial infrastructure to implement their grand design at this moment are the only safe ones.
Estoy practicando mi español.
Mucho gusto.
It's about time to get up out of here, guys.
Yeah.
Get out. And of course, when I moved to Mexico, I got none of these texts from people I knew when I moved to London. Shocking. I got so many texts. Are you safe in Mexico? I'm sorry. Am I way off topic? Am I supposed to be sticking?
Oh no, you're
on
fine.
Topic?
It's kind of on topic.
We actually have a good friend.
Okay.
His name's Commander X that sought refuge in Mexico, was going through the political asylum process.
They took him.
Yeah.
They took him, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm really sorry. It's happening. It's on.
Yes.
And the thing here is like, if people are like, there's no justice in Mexico, I'm like, look, okay, would you rather get pulled over or be fucked with and be able to pay your way out of something for a semi-nominal amount of money and at least give it to that police officer's family that night, or would you like to give it to the city of Dallas or the U.S. government in some way? You know what I mean? And you're not going to be able to get out of it. No justice. We have it's a 0.05. No, I think it's a 1% conviction rate for rape in the United States. So I'm like, can't be much worse.
Yeah.
So, I would prefer to be able to negotiate my way out of someone entrapping me than being literally when I was in court and I had done an episode of Law and Order as a favor insider joked with my sister who loves that show. And I found myself in the same set with the same kind of actors, but I was trying to convince my brain that it was real, but I could not. Like, I literally just was like, where's the camera? I couldn't. The whole thing was like a stage show. And then my powerful lawyer that I hired, because I didn't know any, I'd only known entertainment attorneys, 2 days before I had to make a plea in the Virginia case, disappeared. 2 days after, I wound up hiring like a local attorney who was, sterling character, luckily. 2 days after I make the plea, no contest, because Weinstein was my defense. I mean, the Black Cube, this whole thing is, and it's all documented. People have won Pulitzers off this documentation of the truth of this, And so 2 days after I made the plea, the lawyer I hired shows up representing Weinstein in the rape trial in New York.
Hold up, isn't that a conflict of interest?
You'd think, right? Yeah.
Well,
so it's wildly against like every kind of ethical rule any attorney has, and I don't know about the law, but they are the law, so they would know. Yeah, it's wildly. Excuse me, it's so dark.
We investigated ourselves and found ourselves free of all charges.
Yeah,
that's just American way now.
I love that. That's my favorite thing about America. You know, I got sent to the States when I was 11, and the first place I landed was on a military base from a hippie commune that I grew up in Italy. And the first day of school, my name is Rosa Ariana. They changed. I literally was walking down the street 2 years ago, and I was like, wait a second, Rose isn't my name. Wait a second. I'd actually completely forgotten because all my documents say Rose McGowan. And I was like, how did that happen? It was never legally changed. They changed the school administrator there, or the person changed it.
Wow.
What?
And yeah, but I was like, wait a second. Like, I've had like a real true immigrant experience, but as a white person, like, English is my third language. And it was really intense, and it was really ugly. And I knew from that first day, I was like, okay, you're all telling me that it's weird how I grew up in a cult, but I submit that you are in a far worse one because yours is really dumb.
Yes.
I
I love
We were
that
raised
you
in a
call
cult.
out the American cult. I love that so much. It needs to be called out so much. Oh, it's so
cult,
bad.
The cult of patriotism.
Yes, it's creepy. It's
Well,
really
it created
creepy.
this paradox with Trump, where you had Donald Trump, who was supposed to be like this paragon of patriotism, like the people that Debs warned us about. And he's supposed to like protect liberty and look out for the average person. And then literally like less than a year or 2.5 years into office, not even arrests and starts the largest prosecution of press freedom in history.
Yeah.
It isn't met with backlash by his cult following. It's met with praises on the internet like he was doing something good.
That's
or the weird thing where they thought that it was just part of the plan.
Yes. Oh,
That
he's
was
going to
creepy.
save him. He's actually going to save Julian Assange by putting him in a supermax prison and torturing him. He's saving him.
That's what, like,
he
I
had
the
a
moment.
chance. He had a chance.
Yes, he did.
Trump, when he left, when he was leaving office, he had a chance to not go out like a fucking bitch. And
He's
he
a
went out like a
pussy.
fucking bitch.
Yeah, he's a pussy.
'Cause
He's got no backbone whatsoever. He is
'Cause
not
that's
an
what I was
outsider.
experiencing- That's what I was experiencing today with what happened to Liv, of watching all of these conservatives and Andy Ngo and everything be like, yeah, these DC police that we've been complaining about for like a year are arresting this person. Yay. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Like,
I'm so
haven't you
sick of the
guys-
team
it's-
mentality.
It's programming. It's
Well,
deep-
hey, yo,
it's deep
Andy Ngo is a
programming.
bitch. That is a whole bitch boy. His career is literally built on being a bitch.
Yeah.
So like that makes
It's
sense.
exhausting, and I'm sorry for your friend and your ally. And it's just it is, you know, it's not going to get better. There's no point from here. Like, it's going to get better. It is not.
No.
And my thing, you know, I was on I can't remember who it was with, but it was on, I think, Discord or something, and it was an Assange, a free Assange thing. And there's, you know, one of the problems that I noticed with, and I was talking to Andrew about this, was that the way, and I was trying to tell this very intelligent man I know in Israel about, you know, he was like, why should I? The thing is, and he's actually very smart about this, and I agreed. He goes, I think the problem that I see and why they're not getting people is because, like, Assange has to, I think, in the way, if you start looking at this as like the cult members, the cult leaders, the members, you know, that's the one thing. Everyone thinks the cult leader says something and everyone just like nods their heads and goes about their day. But no, cross hypnosis has to happen at all times with the members constantly. You know, I find the Democratic cult actually worse because you know, it's kind of like you know, give me a straight up misogynist. I know who I'm dealing with. It's not hiding behind being like a Democrat kind of thing.
And they pretend to be the smart ones.
Yes.
Oh gosh, yeah. What is it, to paraphrase? The way I paraphrase it, I think, and at least in my head, comes out sounding more like something Malcolm X would say. But what I took away from this reading of Martin Luther King Jr. was basically, give me a Southern racist over a Northern liberal. I know who my enemy is.
Mm-hmm.
And for
Yeah.
me, like, with people are like, why don't you go after Republicans? I'm like, do I need to?
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
everybody
why?
already does.
Like, it's just obvious. It is what
Yes.
it is.
Also-
I can see them. I know who they are. But the
The three
Democrats,
branches of government are controlled by who exactly? The
Yeah.
ones that were making all the promises to fix this shit that was supposedly caused by Republicans, and they're actually accelerating the shit that's being caused by Republicans.
What they are, the Republicans.
Yes.
Mhm.
They're
Or
all
the
owned and
Republican
operated by the
Democrats.
exact
They're
same
not-
people.
Oh.
It's a
Oh,
they are.
maybe the Republicans
is
are
no
the Democrats.
It doesn't matter. It's one cult. Everyone's performing in like this theatrical performance, kind of like wearing a mask, essentially. Like, oh, we're all performing now. Okay, I get it. We're all starring in a movie we don't want to be in.
It's a soap opera featuring psychopaths. That's all it is.
No,
It's really bad.
That's all it is.
And it is wild. Like, having. For me, being trapped in Hollywood for so long and trapped behind the idea that I was what they were, that I wanted what they wanted. I was discovered 2 weeks after my boyfriend was murdered 20-something years ago. And that was like, it was purely mercenary. I realized very quickly that one of the things also when I was 11, freshly in the US, and I saw a bumper sticker and it said, subvert the dominant paradigm. And I was like, once I figured that out, because I thought it was pronounced paradigm, once I figured out, I was like, oh, okay, I can do that. How do I do that? And then I realized like, the way you do that is you actually life hack. Like what I'm doing is very, very misconstrued. It was never Me Too. That stuff, that's a communication tool and it doesn't get the respect it deserves as such. But apparently it was, bullshit in the way they did it, but it got slapped on me. That's not my thing. My thing was always, and I coined the term cultural reset. And I've said that for years before, Me Too. My motivation was like, basically, if I set up dominoes all over the world of the powerful to fall, and I hit one really fucking hard, and I take years to set this up by gaming the system, by making people think, yes, standing on a red carpet in a gown is exactly what I want to do. No, idiots. I'm gaining access to a point where I'm in front of your cameras and microphones in an unfireable position. And now you can't control me. Now what?
Yeah. That's exactly what that's the why they hate Joe Rogan. He's unfireable. He's uncancelable. You can't cancel Joe Rogan.
But you're like, do it, bitch. Go for it. Try.
Yeah.
I'll be here tomorrow.
Him with
Every
that
time
CNN
like
doctor.
Chappelle, I feel like he gets richer.
Yes.
I wish Joe Rogan would go harder. Honestly.
Yes, I do too.
He's never asked me to be on
but
the
him
show,
with,
and that's
but
because
him with
some
Sanjay
of his
Gupta?
friends are people I go off. Yeah,
Yes.
I would have also sued. I would have done more. I would have sued them too. I would have and I would have used every point of that lawsuit, whether I continued it or not, but at least the initial filing to just, basically what you can do when you sue someone, you get something called discovery. And so you get access to the information that you want to know about that company that you are suing, and they legally have to give it to you. That's where the law actually works, in a sense, for people that are trying to expose things, because each side gets discovery. And if he had done that or does do that with CNN for the ivermectin horse thing and whatever else they do, I find it ridiculous that if I have RT News on it says sponsored by the Russian state or anything Chinese, I'm like, yet CNN doesn't, yet like, what are you talking about? And I actually figured it out. Like CNN, like they're maybe in the past more, but like their social leanings make more sense, not to the level that I think they carry them at this point, because it's all just bullshit because they're bullshit. But their actual news is straight line. Like their actual news is bullshit propaganda placed there, so it should say like American State TV.
Right. I think if the world was right, if you open CNN on YouTube, it would be like employ several agents of the CIA underneath.
Yes, they straight up hire spooks. They hire spooks. Like they just put them on TV. Like, here you go. This is
exactly. Yeah, it was so frustrating. Well, no, and they just regurgitate the script they're given that day to regurgitate, hammer the points home, same as the Republicans do. And whereas I figured out on Fox News, the actual like news is actually true, like mostly true. And I worked in DC as a lobbyist. That was another undercover thing I did. I was like, yeah, I can do this. They want a pretty person at the table, I'll infiltrate. Sure.
What's funny about that? Like, so I mean, obviously everybody at this point knows I'm a contributor for RT, and it's like what obviously like the RT. Everything, actually, even their sports site has to put like, they don't put it, but IG puts like state sponsored, whatever.
It's so rude.
And it's hilarious. Something like, bruh, CNN literally just comes out here and just pushes State Department talking points, literally brings on the State Department people.
They
and
have
like,
segments sponsored by Boeing.
Yeah,
oh my
and I'm
God.
like a contributor for RT, and they're like, and they wake up in the morning and they're like, hey, Nico, what you want to cover today? I'm like, I'll figure it out. Like, and I just go cover it. And I'm like, wow, that's some state sponsored,
state control.
Right there,
that's some real state. I mean, but
Lord Putin works in mysterious ways.
Lord Putin, while he's riding, shirtless on a horse with a bear next to him. Daddy P. But I'll be honest. Like the vaccine thing. Like if I had a choice between having to take a U.S. vaccine or Sputnik, I'd probably take Sputnik.
I'll take Sputnik. Hands down.
down.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there is a history of them not hating their citizens. I mean, they rip them off. They do, all that stuff. There's avarice, obviously, and sociopathy at the top of any game.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, historically, they have a proud nation, and it's not like, unlike the U.S., which I think, other than obviously the indigenous, it's pretty much everybody has an adoption complex.
Yeah.
If you look at it, the U.S. with adoption kid psychology, it actually fits. And it helps you actually kind of unravel a lot of their mentality and why they hold on to ideas that are so unreal. But like, Democrat has to mean something. My mother does not talk to me because I go up against Joe Biden and through. I'm like, wow. And like she's a cult. She's in a cult.
Yes.
I've been seeing a lot of that with a lot of my friends where they're like, my family are going to disown me if I don't get the vaccine or something. And it's like, oh, that's great.
Yeah. They're doing a really good job of dividing us, y'all. It's working perfectly. They're very good at this. They've got it to an art form. We're letting them do it.
Well, they groom. It didn't just happen. It's grooming, and it's been going on. And the grooming, if you look at kind of the grooming of the populace to turn themselves from people that worked with the land to people that were, when I came to the States, it was a whole thing always in the news about automation and machines were coming to take our jobs. And it was on, it was a big scare thing, but nobody did anything about it. And sure enough, that's happened. And then, there's what is in that vaccine that is like a receptor for there's in the grooming of the public, like I guarantee you that we would be at war with likely Iran right now. Because what happened to that? Remember, there was that big showdown. I'll tell you what happened. Top Gun 2 didn't come out. It got delayed because COVID. That's how they staff. Like if I open a restaurant, I have to staff it. How they staff, like at the levels of military enrollment, just before Top Gun 1 came out, we're at a historically low level. They needed to staff the restaurant. So Top Gun comes out, next thing, we got a war. Hey, Gulf War, what's up?
Yep. I mean, I think the movie was named Act of Valor or something like that, but it was a flagrant propaganda piece about the Navy SEALs, and that came out right before we invaded Iraq. And it's like,
No, it's all of them. It's not just that. If you have a sitcom and you say a joke about the CIA, you're contractually obligated to put one good thing about the CIA in there in return.
Wow.
So it's not just action movies. It's not just that. It's in everything, and they tell you like what, and my problem with Hollywood has always been like, if you morons and creeps stayed local and just poison each other, have at it. But you don't. You infect the world, and you're too fucking gross to even know what you do or consider it. And it's sad because there are great artists, but that's not the place for it. And what it's done is damage.
The relationship you're talking about between government and Hollywood came out when WikiLeaks put out the information about Sony and their production studios and how they were literally in bed with the government making films based on government propaganda and consulting with Washington when they were
people knew that way before that.
Yeah.
The
average person, I can tell you for a fact, did not know that, unfortunately.
I think a lot of people don't know a lot of things. It's like
I think they don't know the level. I think they can't imagine the level of psychopathy. Is more like kind of what it is. It's like they can see like
the
because
corruption.
And they can see it like how the poor soldier that he just, and this was not on CNN of course, but it was on Fox. He just pled guilty or turned himself in or whatever. He's pleading guilty. And today I just read Boeing for the Max plane. They just are filing suit against a pilot trainer. So they found their fall guy.
Oh,
even
hold up! What did it? What? Say it again.
Boeing found its fall guy today.
For the walkout?
For that, it's a 737 Max 737.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the mandate walkouts. I was like, oh shit, hold up.
No. This is like they found their fall guy for why those planes were falling out of the sky. Right.
Yeah.
Wow. One guy is definitely responsible for every single set.
Exactly. For all those corporate decisions of speed up. My sister worked on a Dreamliner. She worked at Boeing. She knows that culture. She's like, it's obviously the culture. And that culture is also government culture. That government culture is Hollywood culture. I mean, I try not to use the word marijuana because it's not a real word. It was invented by the CIA when Mexico had a real case to get their stolen land back.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, okay, so how do we scare people about Mexico and Mexicans specifically. And so they invent a scary word called marijuana. And then they start doing it like they go to Hollywood. So on paper, to the world, it's listed for whatever reason, and they're such bad business people, so there's literally no way this can be true, that Hollywood is America's #1 export. I'm like, I'm looking at you, military, sure. But let's say Hollywood and movies and entertainment are America's true #1 export. Would there not be government oversight of your #1 export? Would you not be trying to control and protect everything about it fiscally because it's your #1, money making machine, which is totally not true. It's like, it's not even like money on like money level. And there's a reason for that, because in exchange, all the studio heads back in the day, this has been going on, from the top of it. And once they realize it's like, the medium is the message. Let's go Marshall McLuhan. But it's true. And that medium, everything, if you start looking at the unraveling of people's minds and how we ended up at this point, so much grooming has to be done. It's like very much like a creepy pedophile with a kid to get him to trust them. It's like, but they did that to society. It's like,
and it's from birth. It's from birth. We are propagandized from the day we are born.
I'm so
makes
lucky.
you so unsuspecting because like think about it, guys. I don't know if y'all know this, but like Instagram like follows like their major, like CIA's Instagram follows like their most prominent Hollywood assets, right? Mm-hmm. Like literally follows only them, like Matt Damon, Ben Affleck.
Yeah, well they're
Bond
assets.
guys.
They're
I'm like,
not,
are you fucking kidding me?
No, they're 100% assets. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
But it's like. So nobody sees this. So like they're very clearly following their assets, and people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. What's the issue?
That's why I do what I do. Like when I went on Fox News on Tucker Carlson, just because I like inverting reality, and why not go fucking freaky at this point? And I actually found him to be, of course, very like quite different than how they package him. Mm-hmm. And like what I noticed with Fox is that they actually do tell you the truth, but like the news part of it and kind of him, but with the packaging around it, with the blonde bubblehead people and the red and blue and the graphics, it ensures that nobody actually listens to it in a way that isn't anybody that's actually already watching Fox News. So it's completely disregarded. Same thing on the other side, and there is nothing in the middle. But legacy media obviously is dying, but they have their hooks in, all the pies. And it is like, I put on Facebook. God, I hate Facebook. I put on Facebook during the last Trump-Biden debate that I was going to be doing a live stream debate response to the last Trump-Biden debate. 30, I'd say about like 3 minutes later, my entire my account was deactivated.
Of course.
Oh yeah, same.
So I do want to take a moment. I don't mean to interrupt because it's a cool.
Yeah. Oh, we should talk about Assange, by the way.
Yeah.
I do want to pull Cara Castronova in with us too, because she just hopped
in.
Hi,
Cara.
Hi, Cara.
Hey,
sorry,
everybody.
I'll shut up now.
No, hey, I'm listening in on you guys. It sounds like you're having an interesting conversation.
Thank you, Cara. Nice to meet you.
You too. Speaking about Facebook, go ahead.
I was just going to say the work that you do is different, but the similar style as what Rose does with your work with the CAP committee and going around speaking directly about the political persecutions happening here in the U.S. Yeah. Could you talk a little bit about what CAP has going on and the work you guys have been doing lately?
Sure. So if anyone that's not familiar with it, it's an organization I founded called Citizens Against Political Persecution. And we would help anyone being politically persecuted regardless of their, political affiliation. But right now we're focused on helping the guys that were that are being detained in Washington, D.C. for January 6th. There's been a lot of media slander when it comes to what really happened with some of these guys. Some of them walked in there, literally walked out, weren't violent, and a lot of them are in solitary confinement to this day. 10 months later, there's a guy who has cancer. The judge just made a ruling yesterday, finally, that their civil liberties are being violated. And so a lot, that was positive, but for the most part, the judges have been in lockstep with keeping them behind bars and kind of hiding them from society. So we've been fighting with them, fighting for their families, really fighting to get them good attorneys, which is so important because they don't have attorneys. And when you don't have a good attorney, you really are screwed, to be honest.
Even when you have a good attorney, trust me, you can be screwed.
Of course.
But yeah, you're doing the goddess's work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That means a lot coming from you. And you know, it's been really challenging because of cancel culture. I was deplatformed from Facebook, which is breaking my heart, and I hate Facebook. I call it fake book, but I lost a lot of like family memories. I should have backed those things up.
Oh wow, I didn't think about that.
Right. No, you lose everything.
I think that's how they hold you hostage.
It's part of it.
It's permanent though.
I got pictures of my nephew being born that are like gone forever. They'll never be seen again. It's like,
I mean, they can't get away with this. I'm trying to think of a way. I'm like, is there a way to sue? Like, I know everybody sues Facebook here, and I mean, or there have been lawsuits, but there has to be a way. They have too much of a monopoly going on information, and they can't keep doing this. What they're doing to people, you know, censoring people just for having a different opinion. I've never been disrespectful on there. I've been always very cordial and very, you know, try to speak well. And regardless, I literally got no warning. My whole account was just disabled years ago. So
I put on Twitter that I was deactivated, and they of course reinstated it, pretended like it didn't happen.
That is to a certain degree traumatizing, like genuinely so, because when you're talking about the reality of like not being able to have a memory, you know,
or a voice,
a voice. That's to just be like wiped out. Like I talk about this all the time. They wiped a sitting president off the internet entirely, like Pinterest. They just sitting president.
The voice is a big component, but just from a like a more visceral, like human perspective, you were under the assumption that this memory would be stored here forever, and you have that taken away from you without violating anything, without breaking the rule. And I feel like there's like a genuine case to be made, and I think it probably will end up being made eventually as time goes on. That the shit that they're doing is like irreparable damage to people's like psyche.
Absolutely, it's pain and suffering. Why don't we file a class action lawsuit? Like, you know, like
I would like to
a civil suit for pain and suffering, essentially.
I feel like a lot of canceled
take a different tack.
We all have to get together. I feel like literally start
numbers.
And also kind of find a way, like a new net. Like I know everyone tries to start the new app that's going to be the hottest new thing, and it's failed. But it's like there has to be a way for like people that are quote unquote canceled or censored to find a way around this, like, and just put our minds together, because it's crazy and it is traumatizing. And you don't until it happens to you. I know it sounds weird and it kind of sounds shallow, but when you're like literally your life, it's almost is erased from the internet. It's like you didn't exist. It's like your memories don't exist. Your existence never happened almost, because it is no longer on the internet. It's a very weird, unsettling feeling.
I really think there's something to be done. I have two ideas about this. One, everyone really leans into internet, but like, you know, people that still listen to like CDs, right? Or like not maybe personally, but of them. And that's actually a huge component of the world. And I think there's some case to be made for actually trying to take over the semi-analog airwaves at this point of television. Like literally, I have a weird, mad idea, but I would need crowdsourcing for the money to do it. But maybe then they would shut it down. I don't know. I have to figure out how to safeguard it. But you know those pay-per-views, the boxing fights? Why can't we just buy a consolidated block of a pay-per-view TV thing that goes, you know, all around the world, and people buy it? So one, then we can all have money to help the people we're helping. Two, but like one, really, so it's literally unfettered. We could all be there, or have as many people
almost
join.
like what Rockfin is.
But that's
just to pimp Rockfin out for a minute. It was a platform that gives most censored content creators a voice still. Where you have
that's internet though, like Rose said.
I'm talking about somebody like but there's a lot, like Fox News. The viewership is massive, you know, and if it didn't look like Fox News, it'd probably be more massive. So my thing is, actually, I think a lot of people really depend only on the internet, but you're actually a huge component of society. The people say with under 100 followers, if they're even, you know, have anything like that. That's the biggest chunk of the world. And that's who we're not talking to and getting to, because these people are blocking it. But you're using a more advanced machine to talk to people that might not be necessarily in that advanced machine. And that's a huge swathe of the public. And I think they're going really unnoticed. And I think that's your grassroots army. And the way to do that is literally buy fucking old-fashioned style television time. Deliver the message straight to the people that you want to deliver. It's about
But
using
by that
this
time,
thing
you would have to
differently.
buy it from like the local governments who may not allow you to.
Yeah, they
do
probably
that.
wouldn't. At this point, we may
I
be too
think-
far gone. I don't know if we could get
I
that.
don't know. There's got to be some way, or like literally, y'all know a bunch of hackers hack an hour of time on a TV.
Yeah, about that, that's a possibility.
Why would we do that?
That's a
What are you
big
talking
one,
about,
you know,
Rose? We don't know any hackers.
Yeah, bro. Let me drop that.
We're innocent,
I mean, I
sweet,
know.
law-abiding children. What do you mean?
No,
Lies. All fucking lies.
I'm just saying, it might be your
Sleepy.
cousin. It might be your uncle. I've met them in real life. Just happenstance at a coffee shop. Doesn't mean they're in my life. But, you know, hey, you know, it's, but I like believe in like kind of looking ways, like I know how to steal old cars. Like when I was like 12 and a half, I used to steal cars and hustle them, right? Had a very strange life, people. But anyway, I know how to hotwire old cars. So I was really smoking a lot of cannabis one night in LA, and I was like, wait, if I take this wire of society and charge it into this part of society's head that is used to getting this information this way, and take this part and go over here, basically what's happening is automation, internet technology, everything's so fast, but nobody, especially in the United States, with the general mind there, nobody has pushed thought forward. Nobody is pushing it.
That's been what,
that's
3
kind of like the
weeks
model
since
we
you've done
use
Shroom? 4
for
weeks?
Action for Assange and for End the Damn Wars. Like with Magnus picking up with End the Damn Wars and Kimber and all of us, it's literally essentially distributing the information and the calls to action across multiple smaller content creators to try to get them organizing their audiences in such a way that when
Right.
something happens, they're prepared to respond.
Right, which is amazing. But I think there's also got to be a way to get to the ones that are not on or know about Rockfin or know about, you know, stuff like that, like which is the majority. Not
Yeah,
the
a lot of
majority.
people
I think
aren't
it'll
all that
require
clued
all
into
the
the
same
internet.
type of like marketing and outreach, though, right?
But I just
like-
mean more like I'm talking more about structural thinking. Like I know what cults are like. My father was a leader. He was very powerful. I would watch him wire people's minds. My book that I wrote, Brave, literally is a Trojan horse. It's a deprogramming tool. My interviews, I deprogram. I taser brains. Cult members don't like it when you taser their brain. Like if you use the wrong word, they don't like it. It's literally like a shock to their system. They lash out like they want to kill you because they'll do everything they can because otherwise their whole life has been a fucking lie. And how fun is that? And it sucks, but the reality is that's true. Especially so I think like the way to actually is to try to people not about like single issue but overall structural intelligence, like literally reboot their fucking brain and make it go faster, because that way we can turn Nissans into at least, you know, like a 2 times faster car with
First of all, Rose, my first car was a Nissan. I'm gonna need you to chill a little bit there. Okay?
I have a Nissan currently, okay? But if you think about it, you're sold the Nissan idea because it lasts a long time. But is it a great driving experience?
Right. No, we need a massive shift in
experience in my
consciousness.
Nissan, Rose. Don't do me like that.
I have a Nissan currently. That's what makes me think about it. And I've not had Nissans. I've had I've had a lot of different cars. So what I can say is that there are far more, and people are so like, let's take Nissan. Okay, any car that's a standard car that's sold on safety and not going too fast and not breaking down, but always kind of just being like it is. And there's charm in that. That's great. But if you collectively have everybody in a Nissan, you're never going to go fast at night and feel the wind in your hair. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we need a shift
So,
in
Rose,
consciousness.
question. So,
Yeah.
is it like been like 2 weeks since you've done shrooms, or 3?
I really honestly find that like I get that a lot from people in the US. Absolutely.
I mean, I
Yeah,
do a
it's
lot
a
of
very
shrooms.
common-
That's the reason I'm asking.
No,
Yeah.
Nico does shrooms,
No,
so
I
that's
get
why.
that a lot. I get that a lot anytime.
Once a
No,
month.
I do shrooms every day. I microdose, but that's not why
Oh,
I
shit.
am
Oh.
the way I am, because I was not raised like pretty much anybody I'm on the phone
Right.
with right now. I'm not.
Well, yeah, you were raised
not
outside the matrix.
completely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was old enough when it got introduced to me and shoved down my throat the very first day at military school. 2 teachers or instructors forcibly held my hand on my chest while I didn't speak English to make me repeat the Pledge of fucking Allegiance. Fuck you.
Ew.
I bit their hand.
Ew.
I was
Oh,
old
yeah.
enough to be like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm
The
not.
Pledge of
signing up.
Allegiance creeps me the fuck out, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. It
It
creeps
is
me
It's
out.
wildly
creepy.
disturbing.
Creepy.
Well, do you know the origin of it? The origin of
Yeah.
the Pledge of Allegiance was during FDR. There was a flag company, of course, and the flag company owner is like, this is a great idea for boosting morale during World War II. Delano Roosevelt's like, that's a great idea. And that's literally how that happened. We were pledging allegiance to a company that wanted to sell more flags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gross though to see kids standing up in a room all facing the same direction with their hands.
Right. But then
Ooh,
make sure we're
freaks me out.
threatened by China.
Right.
In unified thought.
Yeah.
So you're like, come on. So I was
Yeah,
old enough. I was lucky enough, but I get so much. The way I do think is different. It is. I don't see the system the same. I didn't know as a girl till I was 11, and I was very indignant that had to happen to me. Because I was like, wait, what? I can't do this because of what? Like, the thing, how I was raised was, and the reason why it failed is because they came from what we called everybody that wasn't us outside of our walls were systemites. And it's chilling, but it's true. Even the most free. Think of these time thieves. How much of their life have they stolen by what they've implanted in you? I got a jump start because they didn't get to implant that, but I had to deal and live in the system of fucking drone brains for no other reason than they didn't know it happened to them. Like when you're a boy, you're born, you're born with this invisible lazy boy under your ass, even in the worst fucking circumstance. But it's not real. And then they put you in a little straitjacket of manhood. Now have fun getting out of that for the rest of your life. Girls, we're going to tie your hand behind your back with politeness. Go meet a predator. Go sit on your uncle's lap. You don't want to kiss him? No, be a good girl. Be a good boy. Go sit on his lap and give him a kiss. It's chilling. It's chilling. Yeah. And they do this. In my heart, people I'm wildly misunderstood. And I don't know how to, because every time I say something, people are like, you must be on LSD or mushrooms. I'm like, oh, fuck.
I mean, we mean that as a compliment.
We mean it as a compliment. At this show, we mean that as a compliment.
Okay. Usually it's a pejorative. So
no.
Thank you. I have a trigger reflex when it comes to
No, we genuinely mean.
No,
I'm insane.
I do a lot of shrooms on a regular basis, and this is basically how I sound when I talk to people.
Nico likes to have dates with his shadow.
Yes, I do.
Because the shadow is
shadow my boyfriend.
Yeah, shadow can be whatever you want it to be. I created my own alternative planet when I was 11, in response to being sent to the U.S., and I named it 9. And then when they made Pluto not a planet, because they found Planet 9, which they still argue about, I'm like, what? I've always been like this, and I didn't have an invisible friend. I have a different planet. It's let's go. But my thing is, if reality is an illusion, let's choose a better one because this one fucking sucks.
Right?
Why?
I
is it
100%
fun?
agree.
You look at a Baptist church and how they're moving and singing and free and whether or not you believe in what they believe in, and then you look at a Presbyterian church. Okay, if you have to be stuck in some alternate reality, why choose the one where you have to sit still and be fucking bored and suppressed? Do better. Mm-hmm. You have options, people.
All this shit is choice. That's what's so frustrating is that all of these things are choices. It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way.
Well, it's because fear has been drummed into them and groomed into their DNA. Fear. The fear of what if. And my thing, something I've done for a long time is because I used to get stopped by one of the things that kept me in Hollywood for too long was the fear of once again being homeless, which is a real fucking fear. I experienced it. It's traumatic. Mm-hmm. I had fun at the same time too, of course. Drag queens and a stripper named Tina. Hey. And a lot of LSD, by the way.
That's a great band name. Drag queens and a stripper named Tina.
That is a good band name. Kuda. Good one. But yeah, it's kind of it's what all of us are doing, but in different ways. And if there's a way we can unify this, going back to the Israel guy I talked about, and then I have to jump off and I'll let you all continue.
Oh, yeah, I have to jump off in a second too.
Yeah, but I think if we can start pretend this, because since it is a simulated film that they're playing the movie trailer for every day, sell Assange. Assange has to be what the guy in Israel that is a marketing guy, but not in a as non-creepy of a marketer as you can be, but he had a really valid point. And I found this in how the Assange thing is being presented. One is being presented with legal challenges. Obviously that has to happen, but the other side of it, this is you are dealing with a well-oiled machine that uses every asset, Ben Affleck, and propaganda. I'm looking at you, to sell in a slick way what they want, and it's working. And the way that, obviously Julian's still in jail, so this is not working. So I believe in addition to the legal things and the boots on the ground, there has to be a way. I come from movies. I was the product. I write in my book. I was a cigarette you were told you needed. What if the cigarette could talk? What if the cigarette could tell you every chemical that's in it? I am that product. And I'm telling you what chemicals are in it. And I know how to use their system to get around them by fighting back with their same kind of tactics. So if we can present Julian, and this is where my Israeli friend had a point, he's like, Julian, it has to be, they seem to be making this about just one man. Julian, what's being done to Julian, what's being done to Julian. It's fucking horrible. Obviously, catastrophic, beyond reason on every level. But we have to make Julian all of us and what could potentially happen to all of us.
We are all Assange.
Right, but it has to be sold as a movie, okay?
Yeah,
this has to be sold as an escape thriller.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot.
And it has to be packaged in a more unified way, I think, and use their methods of slickness because they're counting on the fact that, like, it's analog people using analog that works really well, like semi-analog TV, right? CNN, all this kind of stuff. Netflix.
Yes, fuck Netflix.
Fucking asshole motherfucker. Those guys, they were funding the no on Gavin Newsom recall of the governor of California.
3 days before Julian's next court appearance, they're going to run a bullshit propaganda film against him.
Okay, so then what do we do the night before? Or, I have a better, what if we watch it somehow and somehow we get like some giant platform that is actually, we can do both internet and non-internet at the same time and like do like a watch part where we really pause and rebuff and you guys like go back at every point they fucking make and dismantle it.
I love that. I love instant response breakdown kind of things.
I think that would work really well.
I got to be careful about how I say this, but like my instant response to that was just like, I just like to promote a pirate site. But
I'm not against that. I'm not against that. I'll be the pirate site. You can be rosemcgowan.com. I own her. I had to pay $15,000 to a man in Cambodia for my name. Thank you. Which isn't even my name. So great.
Nice.
Can you imagine? I think she's in the chat. Or in the site.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So my phone is dying, but I want to thank you all. But literally, is there a way that someone can get all of us in touch? And
yes.
Did you? So
I'm on Telegram.
We need you. We need you.
I need you guys because they shadow ban. They suppress me. They actually have someone hired at each place. Their only job is me. It's not even AI.
Yeah.
It's like rap.
Misty, are you hosting?
Yeah, isn't it fun?
I am here. I'll let her in. Yeah, but we need you. We really do. We need you to.
And I need you guys because the thing is, like, people like actually a lot of times like my tweets, but they won't retweet it, or maybe it does. But everyone that I know like says like, oh, I've unfollowed you, but I didn't unfollow you.
I never see your tweets. I have to go to your. I have to go to your page to find your.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey, Rose. This is Cara. I follow you, and I also read Brave, just so you know, and I read it in one night.
Wow.
And I don't know if you mentioned it in there, but you mentioned somewhere that to read the Malcolm X book. So I went and I read that too. I'm just letting you know, and that had a big effect on me too. So.
Nice.
You said that in the book, right? Because I
yes, I did. That was one of the first that I read that book when I was still in the cult.
Yeah. So I would like to keep in touch with you if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Andrew shares.
I can stay on longer while you talk until my phone dies, which is what's
happening. I think like a lot of the stuff I'm working on kind of. I don't know if you're interested in that. I can tell you a lot more. But also for the
that's a power
censorship
need to
thing.
see.
I know. It's so weird that you're on the call tonight, and it's like with the censorship thing recently happening. I feel like people like we need to come together and figure something out. Like maybe we could talk about this too. You know, some sort of lawsuit, class action, something.
I think the class action. I think everything seems to be based these lawsuits. What about this is. You know, Nico gave me that idea, like pain and suffering and for damage done to minds. There's so many studies that have concluded the damage. Why don't we go after them for literally mental anguish, mental torture, pain and suffering, removal of memories, wiping lives? Like this kind of stuff is traumatic. It has PTSD effects or CPTSD, which is chronic. You know, and I think there's an interesting way to do it, not in the traditional ways they've been challenged, quote unquote, so far. And I think we could get like a mad bunch of signatures to do this and boots on the ground. And the people I tend to communicate with most on Twitter or on any platform, I've realized, have under 100 followers. They're always the most interesting and the most despairing.
Right. Yeah, and it has to have names. Like I think it has, a couple good people behind it pushing it. Like so, like. It has to. I don't know. It's just. So I will be.
They've caused me a tremendous amount of trauma. Twitter Jack Dorsey literally ghosted me. This isn't the traumatic part. That's the funny part. But they deactivated my account 4 days after after the articles I set up in the New York Times exposed Weinstein, right? And 4 days after that, I tweeted at Jeff Bezos, 1, 2, 3, 4. Within 2 hours, his personal attorney called me. Within 2 hours after that, the head of his movie studio was fired. And I think the world owes me a favor, because if you knew that kind of mayonnaise creep brain was putting thoughts in your head, and it was his choices, not Bezos, but this guy, like they're together, obviously. But it's like, and then within 2 hours after that, I was completely deactivated.
Wow.
And there was a 24-hour women boycott Twitter worldwide global protest. But they've, and so I was reinstated, but my numbers with the mad amount of global press in the last 5 years have grown, I think, on all platforms between 4,000 and 7,000 followers. I even hate that word that they give us to use. It's offensive.
Weird.
Yeah.
Followers. Fuck you.
Like mind.
Fuck you. We get one of the things I really want to work on with everybody here is a new dictionary, because this one's not working.
Right?
Nice.
Reboot, bitch.
Nice.
Cultural reset this shit. It's time. If we're inventing realities and bending them to old words, it's not working. It's only causing more friction and
You're
dissonance.
speaking my language right there. That's
I
my
know,
whole thing I
right?
scream about all the time.
I'm like, make up a new word. If you're
and we'll make this happen for real.
So I am 100% serious.
Hey guys, I gotta
we
head
need to do a
out.
point for point rebuttal.
Yeah, we should.
Okay.
Bye, Nico.
Okay,
Bye,
let's
Nico.
reconnect
Bye,
soon.
Nico.
Thanks for having me, guys. Nice meeting you, Rose and Cara.
And
see you later.
Yeah, there's more
Good
people
job,
here now.
Glory. Sleepy. Over
Was
there
good.
being quiet and weird.
We
as
love you,
usual.
Nico.
Happy
you guys too.
mushrooming.
We got
Peace,
a Brady
Nico.
Bunch together. For
We do have a Brady
minute, so
Bunch kind of a show going on.
Oh my God, we really
Yeah.
do. This is so funny.
Yeah. I have a name, by the way. It's Glory. It's not CNN in Hollywood, October 27th, 5 p.m. I'm just trying to promote a protest.
Commander X protest. Yeah. Everybody
No,
go
not
to
the
the
Commander X protest, the Assange protest.
Oh, okay. And then there's also Commander X stuff going on
Yes.
too. Yeah.
When
There's a
we
lot
Are
of
get
you
shit
gonna yell at
going on.
CNN again, Glory? Because I'm so here for it. It's my
Oh,
favorite.
bro, I got the bullhorn ready and everything. I just came from getting 5 paper cuts because I was hand cutting out these flyers that I'm gonna pass out this
Nice.
weekend.
The
Yeah,
legend, the myth,
Respect.
Glory Jones.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Glory Jones is magic on a megaphone. I'm telling y'all. Andrew and Glory, you got to see him on a megaphone. It's good stuff.
So, here's another idea. Considering megaphones, I'm quite good on them too. And I believe that is a superpower. What if we could actually organize a full press conference in front of the Netflix building, wherever the fuck that is, their compound, and just we could literally, and then take it into the night, where then we have a giant screen and sit there, pause, rebut, sit there, rebut, something like that, right? If we do something that's really bizarre but also awesome, we don't need to get permission to talk back to these fuckers. And I think this one, especially with the upcoming Netflix Assange thing, has to be done in real fucking time.
Yes.
Sounds lit.
Los Gatos, California, Netflix headquarters.
Well, I guess we're all meeting in Los Gatos.
They
All
got
right.
a tweet out actually with their headquarters. They got one in New York. They got one in DC. They got two separate ones in California.
Oh, of course they do.
Others. If you actually, there's a website that tracks them. If you look up Netflix headquarters, it's corporateheadquarters.com. That'll give you their full address and phone numbers and such.
Yeah, I got that open right now.
I imagine actually DC would work better than New York, in the sense that New York is so left-wing journalism that they will not show, and DC, it's the same, but we would be unicorns to them, and not like the normal, they're not interviewing Mitch fucking McConnell. They're gonna show.
Maybe.
What I can get them to do is you can get them to live stream our live stream.
Yeah. In the meantime, what I can say is, under no circumstances whatsoever should you go to bflix.com and delete your Netflix instead of, streaming from services that you have to pay for that are only serving bootlicking cunts. Under no circumstances should you go check out that pirate site. Under no circumstances
You shouldn't
should you
do that,
go
guys.
Don't
Don't
check
do
out
it.
bflix.com.
Don't go to Bflix. That's not okay. Don't do it, guys. Don't you dare.
So how long until that Netflix documentary until Assange's thing?
23rd.
The 23rd is when the
23rd,
Netflix,
24th.
when they're
Of this
launching the
month?
Netflix thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the
Oh,
27th and 28th is Julian's next court dates.
Okay.
So it's like 4 days before his next court appearance. They're running propaganda piece.
Of course they are.
Of
And
course.
they like if they have actually something like real that's breaking, they put that on a Friday night. So it like gets the people on the weekend.
I mean,
and
the
they don't-
Yahoo
it's all
article just came out where they confirmed the story that we all knew was already happening, that the CIA was plotting to kidnap or assassinate Julian Assange, and nobody talked about it. Not a single person.
No,
I mean, like none of the
but,
mainstream.
what happened to their resistance? Resist.
How is he doing mentally? Like, what's his mental state? I just
Not
like,
good.
So, we don't know, like,
We don't know
the moment
specifics.
what it is, but there was a point in mid 2020 where he got moved into medical detention inside of Belmarsh, where he was tortured to the point that he couldn't remember his own name.
Oh my God.
There were
British
court appearances
like,
where
he's
he
on the
was
record
having
saying,
trouble
"I don't know
forming
who I am."
sentences.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, he's not doing. I mean, I'm sure you can imagine, being held in essentially solitary confinement for over 2.5 years now. It's not great for one's mental health.
Well, and then the 8 years in the Ecuadorian
Right.
embassy. So you're in a
He's over a decade of psychological torture.
because he told the truth.
It's horrible.
And
It's
that's if
terrifying.
you don't count the harassment that was happening before he went into the Ecuadorian embassy.
Right.
With
yeah,
it's
very,
actually I
it's
wanted
extremely
to
stressful.
I wanted to actually kick it to the group a little bit to see what you guys thought about that.
And also, hi, Alex Hills. I love you.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you, Rose, as well. My dad says hi.
Oh, it's cute. Yeah. Okay.
I just
Go ahead.
stepped out of a funeral to come and talk to you guys. We've just done a big parade for an activist in New Zealand who died. She was all about reclaiming the streets. So we just reclaimed the streets with the coffin and walked all the way down Island Bay Parade and got to the park, and then I did some Vivaldi on the violin for them at the
I'm sure that's hard in New
bandstand
Zealand
with my
right now. You guys are under like
yeah,
strict
well, my friend
lockdown,
couldn't
right?
be here. She's in Amsterdam right now, so one of the daughters couldn't be there. We're not in lockdown. We're in we're kind of quasi lockdown. We're in level 2 now, but
okay.
Auckland is still in level 3. Yeah. So.
Are you allowed to fly out of your country?
Well, I'm not really very keen on the PCR test factor. I'm not saying
that
I
you're
don't
going
think
to or
so.
want to. I'm just saying, can you?
No.
Yeah,
You can,
lockdown.
but it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to arrange the MIQ. Like, even if you've got a funeral to go to. I mean, my mum just had a stroke in England. I can't go.
I'm so sorry.
It's horrible. I can sail. Maybe I can get on a shipping container or something like that.
my pirate navy to New
because
Zealand
they don't have enough workers because of vaccine mandates. You'll just end up sitting outside in the docks for 3 weeks.
Hey, bro, I'm in Los Angeles.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, apparently there's like a smuggling network in New Zealand because it hit the news that they arrested people that were smuggling KFC from Australia into New Zealand. And they had pictures of KFC laid out like cocaine in a drug bust on the front of like these New
I
Zealand
think they just went outside their 5-kilometer allowance and got some KFC, and then it was in the car. And so when the police pulled them over, they had the whole KFC laid out, but no, it was just someone trying to get out of
They bought a lot of
outside
KFC,
of his
though.
5-kilometer radius.
It was a lot of KFC though. It was a lot.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
They've probably been kept from KFC for a long time.
Getting the year's supply of KFC in one run.
Bless their hearts. But I mean, it's come to this, people. It's come to
a
this.
Kiwi prepper.
You don't want to hear
I guess they're finally lost
Did
her.
we just lose Rose?
Yeah,
her phone was dying. She was just riding it out.
Yeah,
till it
her
hit
phone was
0.
dying.
Oh,
So, Kara, could
I
you
got to say hello at least.
That was fucking dope.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? I'm jazzed. That was awesome. I love her.
Yeah. So many good
I'll try to get that
ideas.
to happen more often. No promises.
Yay.
Okay, so everybody, just want to say good night.
Oh.
Night.
Oh,
she's
good night,
back
Rose.
and she's here. Yay.
This is
Thank
what
you for
happens
coming
when you make
on.
some killer and mezcal. Don't do it. Keep fighting.
Awesome to meet you,
Thank
Rose.
you. It was awesome.
Yes.
In the private chat, I put my Telegram address. So
Okay.
everybody, please contact me. I'd love to stay in touch.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes,
so much.
thank you. Fuck yeah.
That was awesome, you guys. Dude, we just talked to Rose McGowan.
Magnus, whoa, hold on. Everybody stop. Magnus, did you just dab?
He's been dabbing the whole damn show like a big turd.
I will. You can take my dabs from my cold dead hands. Okay?
Rose McGowan's on, and Magnus is like,
Jesus Christ.
oh goodness. Hey y'all, in the chat, YouTube chat, I just put Daniel Hale's new address. I'm getting ready to put Craig Murray's new address because I forgot to do that earlier.
And I'm putting Commander X's mailing address too.
And I'm going to put fucking David McBride's stuff in there too. Because
yeah,
I talked
please
to him
support
yesterday.
David McBride.
David McBride's a fucking
It's so
hero.
cool that you had him on, Magnus. That was awesome.
You know how many people I talked to who were like, I never heard of this dude before. How have I never heard of this dude before?
I know.
And I'm like, he's willing to go on all of your shows. Have him on.
There's a reason, y'all.
It's going to be, Australia is going to get in trouble for having him on so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised his lawyers let him go on as often as they do.
Well,
I remember at one point he was on a gag order.
Yeah, he was on a gag order for a few months. His lawyers were like, nope, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he pulled a Daniel Hale and he's representing himself in court now. I don't
Shut
think.
up.
I don't
Okay,
think
y'all, we need to support
I might
him.
be wrong. I could be wrong, but I believe he got rid of his entire legal counsel and was like, I'm just going to fight this.
Yeah, he told me that he didn't mention whether he replaced them, but he did mention on the show that eventually it was like, you guys are worthless and you're cowards and I'm just going to do my own thing.
I love
Deuces.
David McBride. I love David McBride.
So fucking awesome.
It's
awesome.
just so wholesome because it's like calm Australian dad energy, and then randomly like he'll just slip out like, yeah, I'll go to fucking jail. I don't care.
Like
and I'm like, let's go.
Badass. Yes,
bro.
Yes, that's exactly it. He just had
It's
like that calm dad
this guy was
energy.
like a paralegal, right? Like you don't expect lawyers to be that badass.
He's a gag lawyer, dude.
Yeah,
he's a dad lawyer, and he's like so
still
fucking badass. And I'm just
Choose your
like,
jag. Yeah, choose your jag officer. Do you want fucking, why am I blanking on his name? Florida governor. Fuck.
DeSantis?
Ron
Do
DeSantis.
you want Ron DeSantis the jag officer? Or you want David McBride the jag officer?
Oh,
let's go.
So, Cara, could you talk
Shark
a little bit
in
about,
space. Glory.
Andrew is desperately trying to get the show back on track, and we're ignoring
trying.
him.
I'm trying. I'm working.
Hey! There's always time for David
That's true.
McBride appreciation.
Let me fawn over David McBride. Don't start talking about Danny Scherzen because that'll be a whole other thing. That's another one I rant about. David McBride, Danny Scherzen. I have to go on and on about how much I love them.
Hello?
Good. Okay.
Hello? Do we have a moment?
Come on, Andrew. Let's get it together.
But no, I was just wondering what events you had coming up and what, like,
Is this
actually
yes, you
happening
mean?
with the,
Yes, Carrie, yeah.
Okay.
yeah, for the January 6th protesters.
Well, ever since we had that protest, there was one we did on right recently on the 18th of the past month. It got so much bad press, meaning like leading up to it. A lot of media outlets were saying it was a federal setup or that it was going to be another quote unquote insurrection. So they did such a bad smear job on it that there was such a low turnout. It was so. There was so much interest initially in people coming, but everybody was actually terrified to go. They thought they were going to get arrested by the FBI. It turned out to actually kind of work out because the media was forced to listen to the speakers, which they never do. They generally go there looking for blood to like get any fights they can in the audience or, just any type of drama. So the speakers were heard, which I think was a good thing, but it kind of made me realize that doing rallies, at least right now, could be so infiltrated by media just smearing them. Nancy Pelosi actually came out and told people not to go to the rally. So, which I thought was crazy infringement of, her Speaker of the House telling people not to go to a rally where we're petitioning for our fellow citizens to get out of solitary confinement and to get out of jail, and to actually be given bail. I thought that her doing that was so wrong. But we're not planning any rallies in the future. What we have been focusing more on is investigations, reviewing video, and really trying to help these guys' cases. A lot of them are being accused of baseless crimes where there's no proof whatsoever. So we've been trying to sort of help with their cases. Also, crowdsource to obtain attorneys. So far, we've been able to crowdsource close to $200,000. Just based on our investigations alone. And I'm going to tell you guys something that you might not have heard, but there was a second woman that we found out that was killed. And this is 100% factual. I would never say this if it wasn't true, at the Capitol that day, besides Ashley Babbitt, by police. That's being covered up right now. And the reason I'm talking about it is because it really is relating to the guys that are in there, because a lot of them were attacking police officers because they were witnessing them brutalizing this woman, and they're all in jail for being quote unquote attacking police when they were acting in defense of this woman. But this story doesn't get out because they're all being held in solitary confinement with no voice. So
was that the video of the woman that's getting hit with the multiple police batons when she was already
yes, and
motionless?
right, exactly. And nobody knows, but I'm surprised that you saw that video. And there's way clearer video out there that the guy that's out there that they're not releasing, that lawyers are seeing. That's part of the discovery of some of the guys in there, but it's court-martialed and it won't be seen for years. But the government told her family and the news media that she died of a drug overdose. I saw her autopsy report. All she had in her bloodstream was Adderall, and she had a prescription for that. So they said she had a drug overdose. And then there's video of her being tear gassed, people being pushed on top of her by police, and then being beaten brutally with a police baton by a policewoman as she lay unconscious. So she definitely didn't die of a drug overdose, for sure. And it's such an important story because a lot of the people are being accused, like of the majority of the police brutality, the guys hitting police, are based on 8 guys that all kind of witnessed that and were swinging hockey sticks and swinging crutches and stuff like that, trying to clear the police and clear the crowd off of her so they could pull her out and do CPR. And that's like the God honest story. Like, I have so much video to back it up. And in the meantime, these guys are sitting in there, no bail, and they're saying their trials aren't going to be until 2023. So in the meantime, they just have to sit there awaiting trial, and it's just crazy. If they don't get the vaccine, they're basically not even allowed. None of them have gotten haircuts. None of them they literally look like like a character, I guess, in a movie of someone you'd think
like
with
some castaway shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Only one of them has gotten the vaccine. So now they're using that as an excuse to not even let them use any of the small things you could use in prison, in jail, I guess. Like, they're not even allowed to leave certain areas, not allowed to get visitors. It's torture. They get bologna, a couple slices of bologna every night for dinner. Like this, you can't make the stuff up that I'm hearing from all of them, who, I'm hearing the same story from multiple different people.
Yeah, because that's the same. That's very similar what they're doing to Commander X. That's very similar what's going on with my friend John, of no trial, no bail. They made him sit in a cell in solitary confinement for 6 months. And
what was that for?
That was for a text message on January 6th. He wasn't even in DC. He just sent a text message and he got charged with inciting a riot.
They're calling that interstate. I'm going to tell you what they're calling it. And it might not be text, but there's another guy in there who tweeted. He did something on Parler. He tweeted something what they call inflammatory, but he never was even there. And they're calling it interstate. Hold on, I screenshot it, but
I know what you're talking about.
Interstate.
I'm honestly waiting for my card to come because, like, I've openly bragged about being there, posted the videos of us there dropping the Assange banners off the side.
But there's no more. People are still getting arrested. People like just 2 days ago, a guy walked in and walked out with his camera, and he was arrested. It's called interstate, willfully transmitted and interstate to foreign commerce communication. So it's interstate commerce communications, containing threats or whatever. So I guess that's what they're basically calling like a tweet.
That's exactly what they charged John with for a single signal message, which essentially his signal message, like paraphrase, was if DC falls, then the entire country is going to fall. So we have to get ready. Totally sensible thing to say. If the capital
is he in jail right now?
Yes, he is still sitting in FBI custody.
So wait, how long has he been there?
He got released, but I think 2-3 weeks ago, but a term of his release that he was not allowed to use the internet. And the first thing he did when he got out of jail was go on Twitter and blow the whistle on everything they did about him. So they immediately arrested him again. So
that's interesting. Like,
not counting that 2 weeks, it's been 8 months now straight.
If you could, I would we could be in touch. I'm interested to learn more about, because I'm always archiving stories and stuff. I'm assuming he can't talk to media as part of his
Probably.
He's got a total gag order against him. That's why they rearrested him, because he was
But
not
I'm
allowed to
interested
talk
to
to
read
anybody.
about his case, because if you could send me his name, just because I'm working on an article pertaining to like this exact subject, like people that are like, you should be careful what you tweet, basically, because or else you could be accused of interstate, whatever that crazy charge is, which is basically a tweet or a telegram. And be careful what groups you're in. And it's sad that we have to say that, but there's a lot of guys in there. There's 10 to 12 people in the quote unquote Oath Keeper conspiracy, then the Proud Boy quote unquote conspiracy. Even though the FBI has come out and said there was no conspiracy, people are being charged with conspiracy just for being in the Telegram group that they were added to. There's a woman who's in there. She's actually transgender, so she's in with the men, who never went in the Capitol. She was just on the Telegram group.
But
So,
I thought we voted out fascism, y'all.
it's insane. It's like this stuff is crazy, and nobody knows about it. I mean, maybe it's always been going on in America, and I just didn't know about it, but
it has. It's gotten a lot worse, though. I will say that it's escalated quite a bit.
It's definitely just watching the world change in the last 2.5 years since Julian went to prison, and they started using terms like the post-WikiLeaks world. It's been horrifying, the level of social change they've been able to enact.
Seeing
it
how
wasn't until after Julian's first round of hearings in February, March 2020 that coronavirus hit the United States. Like, we were all driving home from Washington, D.C. in the beginning of March, and that's when the radio started going crazy because they knew they had total media hegemony at that time.
Well, and not to mention the treatment of journalists on the ground. I mean, I've noticed an observable trend of, like, especially in Los Angeles, one of the things that that I caught in the after action report for the Echo Park sweep that LAPD did, they were concerned about the rise of independent journalists, and it's really interesting to see the type of rhetoric they whip out that comes straight from the essential degradation of Julian Assange's character and status as a journalist, and how that very much parallels what's happening to journalists on the ground. It's like, no, I'm sorry, the First Amendment isn't constitutional. News gathering activities are protected by the First Amendment. You can't just declare that unlawful. You can't just take that away. Like, it's a three-word phrase that's so four-word phrase that's so easy. Journalism is not fuck.
That's my kind of math.
Numbers are hard.
5-word phrase. Journalism is not a crime.
Not a crime, fam. Not a crime.
Because it's such a simple phrase. I think that for some reason I keep thinking that it's 3, but it's not.
Journalism isn't criminal.
Hey.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's my brain automatically cuts out the is and the so it's left with journalism. Yeah, okay.
We lost Cara.
Let me get out of myself.
She may jump back in. She's been in and out.
Oh, she said thank you.
Oh.
So I don't. Well, the private chats.
Oh no,
she's coming. She's here. She's here.
Yeah, she said thank you because I linked
got her.
John's story to her.
Sorry, I keep dropped out.
I thought the thank you was like, thanks for having me on. And I was like, oh no. Like, this is the worst. This is the worst note to leave on. Just Glory rambling.
But actually, something you'd probably be interested in, Cara, is we had a plan here in Michigan to do a anti-FBI protest in Kalamazoo, and the day we picked was the same day that they were going to be trying the Wolverine Watchmen, and it looked like it was going to be a pretty big FBI, pretty big protest, and we weren't just going to protest what happened with the Watchmen. We were going to bring stuff up like what happened with Lauren Reed in Arizona, and like Daniel Baker and all these other like leftist activists the FBI said screwed over too, and we're going to do that. And as soon as we started gaining momentum on this protest, they moved the court date again, which is another thing they love to do to people, is just constantly drag them along in their court trial and never let them see justice. So whenever they finally decide on another date, we'll be out there again. So
yeah, no, let me know when. I mean, the FBI has become, I mean, I'm sure they're always absolutely criminals, but they're such trash now. It's like not to be believed. They've come to my house twice, like to just, it's like they're bothering people like never before. Like, and there's a book actually, someone's coming out with that's actually talking about it in a good way. And I reached out to him, like, are you kidding me? I guess he's like a Huffington Post writer, and it's called the FBI. Like, he's like actually saying, like, look at the great way the FBI rounded up all these quote unquote insurrectionists from January 6th. And the part, and with the help of tech savvy, basically rats, like, because there was an unprecedented amount of quote unquote tips. They literally are like socially rewarding people for ratting out fellow citizens.
I love the fact that the FBI, who has the best facial recognition software on planet Earth, was asking people to identify people who were at the really.
There's a whole
we need help identifying
1,000 follower Twitter page that all they do is try to figure out who was at these protests. Like, I don't remember what it's called, but I ran into it one day and I was about to start talking shit and like posting my videos, but I was like,
no, Andre, I swear to fucking God, Andrew.
Don't poke the bear.
Andrew.
But that was
sec, please.
That was the moment I knew that we had finally slipped into like a totalitarian hellscape, officially fully mask off, was when I drove north from Detroit to go home in northern Michigan, and I think I remember counting 8 billboards on a 3-hour drive that were like, report people to the FBI, report people to the FBI. And I was like, oh, fuck.
It's so dumb. It's like, yeah, we just have these 4K HD pictures of this person with their face, and you know the camera lens is probably only about 2 feet in total away from the person's face, but we need your help identifying who it could be.
Because look what they did to that one kid. Sorry, the one girl in Portland, the Portland rioter girl, that they got off of like her Etsy records from like a low quality image of an angle of her bag. Like, you think they really need help? No, they want to help build their database of fucking political dissidents.
Like, they can get that shit just from like your height, tracking your phone. Like,
they have gait recognition, how you walk. Every person has like a fingerprint of how they walk.
That's what it's called, the height gait thing. Like, they have all that shit. And then not to mention, there's proof that after January 6th, the database searches for the shady ass fucking group Clearview AI, which was funded by only Peter Thiel himself and a couple other sadistic fucks.
No way.
But database searches for those by law enforcement spiked after January 6th. But you think the FBI needs your help snitching? Nah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's sad that how many American people were ready, willing. It was such a record number of people. All the cases I read, a lot of the people who are in jail, or my friend who was just arrested, the person who ratted them out was his best friend from elementary school.
Oh.
Another guy's in there. They wiretapped.
You a hoe for that.
They wiretapped his roommate. Like what kind of roommate?
Bro, you a
him
hoe ass bitch for that.
Does that get a punk ass? Does that get a certified punk ass?
You're more than a certified punk ass for that shit. Like, God damn.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's
whatever happened. The blood is thicker than water. People literally sell out their children. Man.
No, there was a little boy who sold out his father, and then society. I don't know if you guys read about that. That was in Yahoo News, and it was actually like giving him accolades, like, this is such a great boy. He had the bravery to call on his father.
That's literally a plot point in Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
he's reached dystopian anime levels.
They literally started a GoFundMe now that he has no dad, because his dad's like facing legal charges. So that this kid could get like a whole bunch of money. So it's like socially acceptable. So society is pushing it, and it's terrible.
Yeah, you had that one girl that I think she was like 18 or something like that, and she snitched her mom and dad out for going, and then immediately dropped that GoFundMe link and raised like $29,000 or something, and all of Twitter's like, yeah, good job snitching out your parents.
Terrible.
And it's like, especially because like I see all these like, you know, well, they're not Antifa, but like the quote unquote Antifa types on Twitter,
the
running these huge
Antifa.
Running these huge ass fucking like docs threads and research threads on these people. And then they're like, we have all this research on where this person lives, and they won't get arrested by the FBI. And it's like, yeah, no fucking shit. The FBI is just training you to do this exact thing.
Yeah.
You hoe ass bitch.
Yeah, it's perfect timing where they tried to set up the national COVID snitch lines, and then the moment that was like memed into oblivion because people were sending dick pics to like the police and stuff like that, they gave up on that, and then suddenly the FBI snitched. So
they still have that in New York, believe me. Like if you dial 311, which is like the line in New York to like I guess call like the local government, every single prompt I'm like it's like to snitch on someone. It's like hit prompt 1 if somebody didn't ask you for your vaccine passport in the restaurant. Hit prompt 2 if you want to report like your trash collector for not paying. It's like every prompt is like to rat somebody out. It's actually comical.
I would make a whole career if I lived in New York of just filming myself spam calling these numbers and doing wild shit.
I know. That's some shit I would do. Like, yeah, so my neighbor, Bofa, he wasn't wearing a mask.
My neighbor Bofa. That's another good band name. My neighbor Bofa. I like it.
It reminds me of Totoro, except phallic.
Right.
But you guys, I'm gonna have to jump off. But I want.
Thanks for coming.
You're welcome. I encourage you guys to like go on my website. It's back up, but they literally pulled down. And it's such a vanilla, I call it website. Like it's so. We try to be so just to speak very matter of fact and fairly on this website. It's citizensapp.us, which tells about the political prisoners and our actions. And it got pulled off the web. It's back up. Like Shopify, I don't know why we even had it posted on Shopify, but that's what somebody chose to do. And Shopify took us down for like, I guess, violating community standards, just like I was taken off Facebook for violating community standards. But if you guys want to go on there, and also the People's January 6th Commission, which is an investigative branch of my organization where we're putting out news about the stuff that really happened that day. That's another way to find out more information. And one of the things I would suggest too, if you have the time, is go on the website and write to some of the guys in there. They really need mental support. A lot of them are really suffering mentally, really being broken down. And we have a list of every single inmate that you could write to. And literally they like treasure the letters that they get from the outside.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Thank
Everybody
you
go
so
right.
much,
Do it.
thank you so much for everything
Yeah.
you're doing. I'm always praying for Julian Assange. I can't even think about him without getting sick to my stomach, because if it
Yeah.
could happen to him, it could happen to any one of us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The more brave we get, the more in danger we are.
Yes.
You know?
Indeed.
So that's like kind of like the trade-off that we have to like go into all this stuff with that we're doing. But
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Great,
Thank
Cara.
you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome
Okay.
back anytime.
Thank you. Bye,
Nice to meet
guys.
you.
See ya.
See ya.
By the way,
All right.
really quick, Shadow Ban saying in the chat that Franco got banned tonight.
I saw that for an
Got
Yeah.
banned on where? YouTube
don't
or
know.
Twitter?
I don't know.
We're at
Apparently-
Shadow Ban. Where
I
at?
think it was
YouTube.
YouTube. 'cause I said it was
Here.
for an
I
unlisted
have,
video. I'm not positive though.
Let me get
Fucking YouTube, man.
The
Everybody go to
DM group.
Rockfin. Go
Alex,
to
I'm so
Rockfin.
sorry you've been so quiet for so
Yeah,
long.
sorry, Alex.
That's all right.
It's a
I'm running out of
quickie
battery,
show.
and I have to get back to my funeral wake thing, so I might
Oh.
have to go through it soon. But
Okay, do it. Go.
Do you guys
Go.
want me to
through it
read out
now.
just the list? Yeah. Do you want me to read out just the list
Yes.
of cities, or do you want me to go through the detail, or
Whatever
like,
you have time for, love. Whatever you have time
I've
for.
got time
Hit
to.
it.
I'm just until my battery runs out, basically.
Okay, ready,
I think
set,
we've
go.
got- Okay, so I'm going to go through the main 3 days first, and these are all listed at Candles for Assange on Twitter. There's a new thread coming. It's being developed at the moment with just the cities that are in the future, because there's been a lot of old events in the old thread and it's now getting too long. So I'm just creating a new one now. It will be pinned soon on Candles for Assange, but the old one's still there. We also got a Facebook group, and we pin the announcement there as well on the Facebook group. We've got about 3,000 members. And I've got a channel, Alex Hills, and also Good Bad, where we're just starting to do our news music, me and Timothy. Timothy's in the background here because he's been
Hi,
at the funeral too.
Timothy.
Hello.
He's saying hello.
Hi.
You can come and say hello if
Oh.
you want.
I'm gonna have to ask you like, what an opinion after Alex is finished.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Hi, Timothy.
Hi,
Um,
Timothy.
I love his hair.
Yeah, so Good Bad. We just Good Bad Music News. We just started up our YouTube channel, so go check it out. All right, so if I go through the main days, most people seem to be protesting either on the Saturday of the 23rd of October before the hearing. A few people on the Friday and the Monday and the Sunday, but and then the main set of protests during the hearing Wednesday the 27th of October, and Thursday 28th of October. And just going through the list of cities, for the 23rd, we've already got London, San Fran, Los Angeles, Tulsa, Washington, D.C., Milwaukee, Brisbane and Hobart in Australia. We've got Toronto, Wellington, and Dublin. Then on the Wednesday, the 27th, we've got London again. They do a regular Wednesday at Australia House, but this one they're going to be at the Court, obviously on the Strand, where Julian will be, or at least will be appearing on video. And so, yeah, on the Wednesday, we've got London, DC, LA, Wellington, Amsterdam, Vienna, Warsaw, Frankfurt, Hamburg, Wien, Schwerin, and Dusseldorf. And then on the Thursday, so far, I think we've got London, DC, New York City, Warsaw, Berlin, Bremen, and Stuttgart. So those are the ones on the 3 main days, but there are also probably about 36 events in total during this whole next coming week, which is really impressive. And I think there'll be more coming. Usually I get them on the day as well. So who knows how many countries. I think we've got about 14 countries now. So I will quickly go through in a little bit more detail the longer thread that I have here. So we have Warsaw, 27th of October and 28th of October. So both the Wednesday and the Thursday at UK Embassy at 6 o'clock. We have San Francisco. They've moved their event 4 times, and I've got it now. It's going to be on the 23rd, like it was in the beginning. It's now at 12 o'clock, and it's still at Sproul Plaza, and it's a global day of education. That's with Bay Assange, Code Pink, and Jeannie, lovely Jeannie in San Francisco. In London, on the Wednesday, the 27th of October, is the protest at the Court. They're starting at 9 a.m., and that's on the Strand in London. On the 23rd, on the Saturday, they're at the British Broadcasting House at 1 p.m. in Portland Place in central London, and they're going to march to the High Court, so where they'll be on Wednesday and Thursday as well, I believe. Someone good to check out for London events in general. I mean, there's DEA campaign, but also on Twitter, but also there's Ali May 101234, who is all the weekly protests and the Australia House, and often some other ones that you might not even know about. But you know, Pompeo comes to town, she'll be at number 10. And there's another guy, James, there, and a few others that are constantly out there on the street. So we've got to give big ups to London, eh? Right, Toronto, we've got the US Consulate at 12 noon on the Saturday the 23rd, and that's good old Steve McMaster, Doc School, and Pete MacArthur up there. So Washington, D.C., yay, we've got. So you guys already did one on the 9th, right? And then there's 23rd and 24th, and also 27th, I believe. Is that right?
I believe
that's 27th as well.
Yeah, that's
right.
Some of the Boston crew's going up to D.C. for part of that, I believe. On the 9th, she was outside of Merrick Garland's house.
So there's the one-day vigil. That's it, and Merrick Garland's office that Paula's doing as well, which is just blocks of 5 hours. One person stands there the whole time, not to be too threatening, but also just to keep up a constant vigil outside Merrick Garland's house, I believe. Then we've got the comedy Stand Up for Assange that's been on in Washington already with Lee Camp and Randing Fredico. And they've got another one coming up in New York, which I'll go through later. I'll come back to that. I think that Edinburgh will be doing something. They had one on the 9th of October, but I believe they will do Scots Defends if you want to go see. We've also got Germany is incredible as always because of freeassange.eu. Now, freeassange.eu also covers some of the European events like Vienna, in Brussels and Namur. There's regular protests. Anything you want to check out in Europe often is there. And in Germany, we have on the Saturday, the 23rd, Flensburg at Grossstrasse at noon. On the Wednesday, 27th of October, we've got Wien at Wiener Pisau, Hamburg at Flaggenplatz, Schwerin at Hellenstrasse at 6 o'clock, and Frankfurt Kleinmarkthalle. All of the other ones at 5 o'clock, if I didn't say. So 5 o'clock. Thursday, 28th of October, we've got Bremen Marktplatz, Berlin Pariserplatz, and Stuttgart Rotsbullplatz. Hobart, down south of Australia, we've got Sunday, the 24th of October. Oh, sorry, Saturday, 23rd of October. I've made a mistake on my thread. I've just noticed for Hobart. Sorry about that. And so Gypsy Bells is running a rally at Parliament Lawns in Hobart. We've had some online events in Sydney with Consortium News, so you should go check out them, see if they're doing anything else. But also there is now just been announced a street protest again in Sydney, which I was surprised to hear about. I was thinking they were going to do something online, but it's really welcome. So the Sydney Town Hall 5 p.m. Friday events are back. So the New York Comedy Act that I didn't say before was at Theatre 80 St. Mark's at 7 o'clock in New York, and that's going to have Katie Halper, Lee Camp, and Randy Critico, a couple of others. So that's Stand Up for Assange. Napa, California, we've got Monday, 25th of October, 5 to 6 p.m., and Tuesday, 26th of October, 5 to 6 p.m., and that's at Napa Valley College, and that's within sight of the highway, so that's for a big billboard of that should be seen as people drive past. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we've got Friday, 22nd of October, 320 East Menominee Street, 5 to 7 p.m. We have got Boston has just announced one. I'll come back to that because I've got an old event there. Frankfurt is Wednesday, 27th of October at Genusskomplizen at 7 o'clock. Los Angeles, okay, there's a hip hop repressing free speech and from hip hop to Julian Assange. That's a gig that you can see on my timeline for Saturday the 23rd in LA. New York has a regular weekly event at the Grand Central Station main concourse near the Apple Store at 5 o'clock.
What?
Huh?
Did you miss Glory's event? Do we have that one up there?
Oh, I'm through it. Sorry, I'm going.
Okay.
My thread is just in the order it comes in. So New York on the 14th, 21st, and 28th of October. So we've just missed the Thursday, but yeah, every Thursday at the Grand Central Station at 7 o'clock. San Francisco, we have, that's the wrong one because they changed their event. London, we have something on Tuesday the 26th, so the day before the trial. There is a St. Pancras New Church at 6:30 opposite Euston Station. And there is a bunch of amazing speakers, including Deepa, who's running that event. Highly recommend that. I'm sure it's going to be online. New York at the People's Forum on the 22nd is What's Next for Julian Assange at 7 o'clock. And on Tuesday, the 26th of October, 628th Avenue at 4:30 between 40 and 41st Street. Protest the New York Times silence on the bombshell CIA and FBI story. So that's it. Times, that address. Okay, Wellington, this is my baby. So on Saturday, we're going to have a rally in Cuba Street, which is going to have lots of people in it on Saturdays. And we'll do information stall and music and the usual things at 12 noon. And then we're going to try and do candle display and set that up somewhere visible in the evening. Wednesday, 27th of October, we'll be at Parliament, and we're going to march to the UK Embassy from 12 noon until about 2 o'clock, where we expect to arrive at the UK Embassy. The High Commission is here. Auckland are doing a petition. I've put that on the thread. I would really love, especially as they're all locked down, whether we could, anyone from any country could sign that petition. It would be really welcome. So I've done the San Francisco. Dublin, 23rd of October, Connolly Information Centre, Brabazon Street at 9 a.m. And that's with Claire Daly MP, who's been an amazing voice in the European Parliament through her position, and highly recommend anyone in Ireland go and check that out and say thank you to her. Denver, we have Saturday, 23rd of October, Hooked on Colfax at 3213 East Colfax at 1 p.m. That's a Denver meetup to Free Assange Now at 1 o'clock. Los Angeles, Wednesday, 27th of October, CNN building, 643 Sunset Boulevard at 5 p.m. and go and meet Glory. Yay! Beautiful poster as well. I love it. It's real retro. I just love it. Yeah.
Shout out Steve Cutler for the graphic and Lucky Burrito in chat.
What's
good,
Leo?
Lucky.
Yeah, I'm getting. I'm getting multiple.
He's the one who just told me about it. Yeah, he's the one who told me about the event, so that was good. Good to see that. Now, Kieran O'Reilly. Does anyone remember Kieran O'Reilly, who sat outside in a vigil outside the Ecuadorian embassy? Yeah, so he is organising a Brisbane event at Banyapa Park, Vulture Street, West End at 3:00. And so go to his website or have a look at my thread, and you'll find a link to his address. Tulsa, we have Hayla Benson in Tulsa doing an amazing job as always. 41st and Peoria Avenue at 11 a.m. She's having a rally, and they're planning to march through a bunch of locations in town. And that is at 11 a.m. We have Dusseldorf, Germany, Bertha von Suttnerplatz, next to US and UK consulates, between 5 and 8 p.m. We have a peaceful protest for Julian Assange, Tuesday, 19th of October at the Hague, Den Haag, I suppose we say, between 12 and 2. That's a solo protest, but please, I think, come along and say hello if you can. That one is de-juggling on Twitter. Now I have to jump back to the old, to the new thread for picking up anything new. Now let's see. I think I've almost got it all. Vienna. Did I say Vienna? Vienna does a weekly protest anyway, and they're going to be there on Wednesday, 27th of October. I'm waiting to hear back about the 23rd. I think they're planning something then too. And if you want to check out anything in Austria for Assange, go to EV1, which is YVIY1, who is the Austrian contact there. Boston, Cambridge, they've got an event on Monday, the 25th of October, 11 Garden Street, 2 to 4 p.m. And it's mass peace action with Assange Boston, and they're going to be showing Juan Passarelli's War on Journalism video out in the city between 2 and 4 p.m. So good on Paula. She's amazing. God, we love Paula.
Yes, Paula's awesome.
What would we do without Paula?
She's the baddest badass. I love her.
Yeah, she's gone outside of Merrick Garland's house by herself at least 3 times, if not 4.
One woman protest. She's
I
a
actually got it wrong.
badass.
I thought it was the office, but it's the house. So I guess
Yeah.
is that in a different place altogether?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I
a
was screwed up
personal
on that one.
resident. She's going and putting banners up directly across the street and then talking to his neighbors about what he's doing.
Yeah, like
Nice. I love
my infinite moment of respect for her is when the Secret Service came over and were like, "You guys can't do spray chalk," and like they walked off, and she turned to me and she's like, "Are you okay with being arrested?" And then we walked over and started spraying, and the Secret Service person came up and she's like, "Respectfully, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue to do this."
I love her
Let's
so
go,
much.
Paul.
I love her so much.
Yeah.
I can't even
It
tell you.
inspires me to keep going, man. Like you're
Yes.
seeing like all the shit that she does is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like she's
She is
literally the
amazing.
person that like helped bring Boston together. Like it was
Yes,
Mm.
she's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she's the glue that glues together Team Assange, don't you think? Like in some ways,
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of
she's
glue.
connected with everyone.
Yeah, you're a big piece of the glue too, though. Let's not get it
Yeah,
twisted. You hold it down. You keep all the global events organized and
Yeah.
promoted, and
That's
so,
big.
Yeah, that's big. It's huge, Alex.
Oh, did you
Alex?
get a Amsterdam?
Oh, did I miss Amsterdam? I swore I did that. But yeah, so Dan Square. I almost remember that one off by heart now. Gosh, I must have just flicked through that. Sorry. Cool. So that's Censored Lovers. He's promoting it. Oh, let's have a look. Amsterdam. Where are you? Yeah, I might have missed a few that were on different days that I didn't want to confuse everyone, but it's yeah, the next thread will be way more organized and a little bit more by country and all that.
So
sort of
everybody
stuff.
follow Candles for Assange for updated lists of
Yeah.
all global Assange events. Anytime that there's something happening, Alex holds it down, keeps them all straight and organized and promoted. And
Yeah. And even if it's
cohesive.
not organized, it's there.
It is.
So if you just so you don't even have to look that hard because it's there.
And if you can't find it, just ask her or ask me or ask Gloria or ask Andrew. We'll find you an event
Yeah.
to go to. We will find you one.
Trust me, I've had way harder times finding protest info than I have. like, trust me, if you need to know about an Assange protest happening, like I can find that out way quicker than most.
We can definitely find that out. for sure.
Nice. Yeah, so that event's 1 p.m. in Dam Square in Amsterdam, and like I said, there's also that Den Haag, or the Hague protest, the solo protest that he's opening it up to more people. He's been doing it solo anyway, and I've been sharing his actions. So yeah, it'd be nice if some people can go and support that as well on a different day. So
yeah, bro, go to The Hague.
Yeah, go to The Hague.
Yeah,
They
that
say
would be
that so
fun. Wouldn't that be fun? That would be like, I like standing outside the DOJ and the FBI and outside of CNN and stuff, but standing outside The Hague and yelling at some people would be fun. I'd like that. That'd be good. Good time. That's a good time.
I'm down to clown.
Yeah. That's some cathartic shit.
Yeah,
right
so
there.
I think I do have everything done. I think that is everything now, but I mean, I'll keep on adding them to that list, and
there will be more that
you'll
pop
see it
up.
on
You're
the
right.
list.
People will be adding
There'll be more.
events. I may have an event that I'm brewing up online that we could. But we'll see. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I've been offering your services to people, particularly where people are locked down. I've been like, I'm sure that Action for Assange will air, or maybe I could do it on Unity 4J or whatever.
You can volunteer our services anytime.
Yeah.
This Sunday, actually, for our services that are volunteered, is Craig Murray's birthday.
Yes.
I'm sure everyone watching knows who Craig Murray is. He's a man to our community that needs no explanation. But we're going to be streaming his birthday event that's happening. It's probably going to start. It's 3 to 5:30 London time. So I want to say that we're like I'm 5 hours behind London. So if I math, I think that's 10 o'clock. I think that's 10 o'clock our time. So we'll probably go
3 a.m. for New Zealand.
Hey, can I give like a quick Craig Murray update, by the way, because there was recently a COVID-19 outbreak in his same corridor that he's in, and dude has underlying health conditions. So they have they have written again to Scotland's Justice Minister Keith Brown and asking him to take immediate action to safeguard Craig by releasing him. So if everybody could go it is C Murray Justice at C Murray Justice, and maybe retweet their pinned tweet, which is discussing the outbreak and the attempts to get him released. So if we can make some like noise about that, that would be great. That'd be awesome. Let's do that.
If you're near a Netflix, I'll drop the link into chat for where all of their global headquarters are located. If you're nearby there, please go hang out. Be nice, be kind, don't do anything that could get me in trouble for giving you the link, but do whatever the hell you want to do.
Definitely don't cover yourself. Don't cover yourself in red paint and scream on their front porch. And
Right. Don't do that.
God forbid you chalk.
Sure.
Don't chalk. Don't spray
Don't
chalk.
chalk.
That's
You'll make the Secret Service.
Dude,
that's terrorism.
So every store around me for the longest time carried spray chalk, like semi-unrelated topic, and I have gone fucking everywhere, and the only place to get it now is online. Like
really?
all of them have it in their
It's hard to get it.
They still have it at my local Meijer. I get it from my kids every once in a while.
Yeah, no, I just can't find any. I went to every Dollar General, Walmart, Target, Lowe's, Home Depot, a craft store, and
hey, Alex probably has to get back to her thing. I just realized that she's literally like waiting outside a funeral, y'all.
Yeah, she's walking to the funeral at this moment.
Alex, if you gotta go, girl.
Doggy.
Little baby.
My new puppy just bit me in the nose.
My cat, I don't know if you guys noticed, but my cat, while I was holding it, sneezed in my face twice. While I was holding it.
Rejected.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Hey, speaking of pets, shout out my dog Leo.
Leo,
Leo,
coolest dog on earth. Yeah,
Leo, it's Glory.
Sweet.
Hey, what do you think about the world's navies going into the South China Sea?
Ooh, yeah.
He just like pops in with like a big old question. Hey.
I think it's a bad
With a
idea.
big
We'll
smile.
probably
on
be
his
doing a
face, like
song
12
next week
into the
on Good
camera.
Bad.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So everybody follow the Good Bad News. Their new
Good Bad Music News.
Yeah, they
We've
turn
got 2
news
videos
into
so
music.
far.
They're kind of present but not current.
I love it.
Yeah,
They
so
turn
hard.
news into music. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, but what do you think about that? Like
What the takeover of the Pacific Sea?
South China Sea.
It's a
Because
fucking hot mess. That's what I think about it. I think it's fucking dumb. Like, what are we
I
doing?
think it's one statist group like smacking their dick against the table at another statist group, to defend or attack a third statist group. So I think
bunch of
all of them are
bullshit.
wrong. I don't think there is a right answer. I think
No.
that they should just dissolve.
It's a dig measuring contest between psychopaths.
Yeah. Security theater.
But I
Yeah.
also think that it may be used to depopulate humanity if that pops off into
I
a
mean, it could,
And
yeah.
provide further pretexts and excuses to pillage the global south.
Mm.
Yeah.
This
There's
is
like-
Eugenie, by the way.
Eugenie, can you see her? I don't know.
Hi.
Yeah, you can.
Oh,
Yeah, we're all
sweet
here.
puppy.
We're all supposed to be at the funeral.
Okay, why don't you?
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Go to your funeral. I feel
Go to your
terrible.
funeral.
Yeah, we
Go.
got to wrap up anyway. We're over time. We're over
We don't
time
have to
anyway.
wrap at 11. We could babble. You want to
Oh
babble?
yeah, we can. This is Maria.
I cannot
who
babble.
died.
I have to go
She
deal with
was
my
an
children.
Assange supporter as well.
Point, Andrew.
Yeah, I
This
gotta
is
go.
Maria who died.
Oh,
whose funeral we're at.
I'm very
at the
sorry for your
moment.
loss, y'all. I'm
Well,
very
she
sorry.
was an amazing reclaim the streets, anti-nuclear, anti-war, anti-water meters. You know, she's been a real pillar of the community, fighting all the way. So, yeah, we thought we better do her justice today.
Yeah, we don't like water meters here because they're not really privatized yet. Are they?
Oh, they're getting there.
They're trying to
Yeah,
privatize.
they're trying to privatize the
they
water.
can't really privatize water.
No, and they give it away to corporations so that they can make water here. So yeah. Anyway,
Magnus, did you know you're a spook?
Yes, I am a spook.
Shut the fuck up,
That's
Michael.
The
actually,
trolls have arrived.
That's
Yeah.
my best friend. He's being a dickhead.
Oh.
You can
What?
tell he's my best
Classic.
friend.
Here I was coming to your defense, and it's somebody you know.
He could tell he's my best friend because he's such a
troll.
boomer that he put his fucking actual name as his
Oh goodness.
All right. Well, I better sign off now before.
Yes, we love you, Alex. Thank you for
You're the
coming on.
best.
We appreciate all your work.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. And actually, I hear I might be on Rogue News next, and maybe in the next couple of days, and also Asia Pacific Today. 2 channels really worth checking out. Asia Pacific Today is on Rumble, and Rogue News is in Canada on YouTube and a whole bunch of platforms. So check them out too because they're doing good work. All right.
Thank you.
Cool.
All right. See you, Alex.
Take care.
Love you all. Thank you
Love
so
you.
much.
Bye,
guys.
guys. Thank
See ya.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
All right, guys. I really do have to go. I got to deal with my kids.
My
All
marshmallows.
right. And
Oh,
I did
Nice.
want to run through some Commander X updates real quick, just because he did have a court hearing on Tuesday. But I mean, I can make it quick because honestly, like the actual hearing itself was literally like less than 10 minutes.
of course.
But yeah, basically this past Tuesday, they had another status conference, probably the biggest development, relatively big development, which happened was that case, was the fact that both sides agreed to what they called a Rule 20 transfer, which basically means that the indictment from Orlando is going to be transferred over to Santa Cruz, which is actually a good thing because then it means that X won't have to travel at all to Orlando to face those charges. And also, basically, when they negotiate their plea deal and sentencing, it will encompass all charges, which would be the Orlando indictment, the Santa Cruz indictment, and his failure to appear. So his sentencing is going to encompass all 3 of those, as well as his plea deal. And something else I was going to say. It sounds like the government did provide some discovery, but from what it looks like, it pretty much they're going to have a very hard time proving the monetary damages caused by the alleged DDoS attacks against government sites. So they're having a very hard time proving the Santa Cruz one. So according to his lawyer, that one might even end up getting dropped. I don't want to make any promises whatsoever, but that's coming from his lawyer. The Orlando one, on the other hand, probably not. But because of X's age and his, medical issues that he's had, they'll probably be able to negotiate at least a lower sentence for him, which would have him out because, you know, originally he was looking at like 7 years at the most. Now it would have him out from like, you know, within a couple months to, you know, 1 to 2 years tops. That's what his lawyer said.
Hopefully he just gets time served. I mean, he's already had him locked up. And imagine my shock. It's hard to prove damages from a minor cybercrime from like 10 years ago. Or something.
It really is bullshit. But I mean, So I don't want to make any promises, but
I'll manifest for you, Glory. I will be.
Please do.
This motherfucker's getting time served. He's walking out. He's gonna tap dance on the fucking judge's desk. It's gonna be great.
You know what? X has rubbed it in the FBI and the government's faces enough how he's evaded them. So I think he could chill a bit. And
he's got books on that shit. He's like,
hey, he has whole books. And actually he was saying that he might even look to write more once he gets out of prison. So that's that. But the next court date they agreed on was November 9th. It'll probably be the first thing on the agenda again, which is 9 a.m. And so November 9th, that's a Tuesday, 9 a.m. We'll be out there protesting again. It'll be me, Keith McHenry, a couple other people. Some of us might be able to get into the courtroom because it'll be in person, thanks to Jay Roydy. And so yeah, if you could be there, then much obliged. It'll be much appreciated. And for any updates, we're constantly updating it on at FreeCommanderX _ on Twitter. So yeah, that's the updates on that.
Mm-hmm. See, it's the things like this make me wish that we all lived like way closer to each other. But then if we did, they'd probably just like carpet bomb that entire county.
Yes.
So.
I know. it's like there's so many times where I'm on these calls with people and one person in the call will be like, "Oh man, how awesome would it be if all of us were in one room?" And I'll just be like, "Yeah, awesome for the fucking feds." Like,
hey, I'm like,
"Oh man, they're in one room."
I told y'all this when we were hanging out in DC. I'm like, if this makes the night without anyone visiting or any cars driving by or suspicious happenstances, I'll be fucking surprised.
Well, so the person that lived 2 doors down from that Airbnb was the like head of the Republican Party in DC under Trump. Like, was there like?
I'm so happy you didn't tell me that while we were there, because I would have acted a fucking fool.
Yeah,
I would have too.
In the morning that one day. So it's you guys that got the whole city shut down. Do you remember that lady?
Yep.
Yeah, the one with the cat that was best friends with the other person's dog, and they would like kick it and shit.
Yeah.
She's like head of the Republican Party. Apparently, I was talking to her like as I was getting ready to go.
That's funny.
So they know we turned up.
Would have tore down the house. Would have been doing jumping jacks, fucking my boxers in front of their house.
I mean, you're always within a stone's throw of somebody in DC. Like, it doesn't matter what part of the city you're in.
Weird. All right, I figure you guys are gonna wrap up. I need to go get some food and stuff in me.
I gotta go. Well, why don't you pitch or do your thing?
So tomorrow is the year anniversary of the forming of the Unity Coalition. So I'm gonna go to Lansing and be in a bunch of like this whole weird coalition of Black Panthers and lefties and libertarians and everything. I'm gonna go drink and party tomorrow. So that's fun. I'm excited for that. And YouTube, Magnus Panvidia, Twitter, Panvidia Magnus. I just did a stream with David McBride. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. And they tried. I should put the link in the chat. I'll try to remember to. I started working on a bunch of series of shirts because they shut my Patreon down and I got fired from my job. So I've been unemployed. So that's great. So I'll definitely shill those in the chat. But other
is that
than
the one that has my face on it?
Yes, the one with Andrew's face on it.
We'll print that out before we go.
If you
Someone
want
bought
Andrew's
a phone case of me, and I was like mind bottled.
Yes. If you
was
want
like
Andrew's,
surreal.
if you want
I can't
Andrew's
find the
magnificent
link.
beard, I got you.
Okay, I was gonna do it for you, but I can't find it. I have your coin tree, but that's it.
I do not have it in my coin tree because I'm a scrub. I just dropped it in the chat.
Okay, cool.
So cool.
Yeah, go get shirts and shit, y'all.
Yeah,
I love
really
shirts.
Cool.
Shirts are good.
Right.
I want a Lord and Liberty shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that's on there, the Stop the Bloodshed shirt, because she's super cool.
Yeah, I love her.
So I
Bye,
dropped
guys.
the locations of the Netflix
Yeah.
buildings in there again. There'll probably be more to come with that. I don't know. It'll be fun. We'll figure something out.
Glory Jones, you want to pitch some shit or drop some knowledge on some people or whatever?
Okay. I'm Glory.
Sounds like an AA meeting around here.
Like, hi, I'm
My name is
Glory
Glory.
Jones, and
I'm Glory Jones.
I don't know how to make these outros any less
I know.
awkward, but yeah, okay. I'm Glory Jones. You can. I'm not doing jazz hands. That's your thing. You can find me on the ground and around. I will be on the ground tomorrow, probably at the Grand Park Metro Station in downtown LA. They're doing like a medical freedom protest meetup thing. I forgot what the flyer looks like, but I know it's happening in Grand Park, downtown LA at noon. So I'll probably be there unless otherwise, because also the Milken Institute is holding like this quasi devilish globalist meetup. So there might be some counter protests to that happening this weekend, going into early next week, that I might also be at, because word on the streets is that Anthony Fauci might be speaking, but he wasn't because he wasn't advertised in the program, but he might be there. But yeah, okay. So yeah, but I'll probably be on the ground for that as well. I'm on Slow News Day with Base God Tech Ninja over here, and we'll be on Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and I'm on Anonymous Bites Back too. That goes Thursdays at 7 to give or take 30 minutes, because late, but yeah, that's Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And trying to think of what else. Okay, yes, and then last pitch for my event, doing another CNN protest in Hollywood at the big CNN building in Hollywood, October 27th at 5 p.m. Just come, please. If you're anywhere in SoCal, just come through. Like, there's come on, it's protesting CNN. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? So yeah, and then
fun. You all
good family fun for everyone.
Jay was there, and then after that, November 9th, outside the Robert Peckham Federal Building, which is the San Jose District Courthouse in downtown San Jose in Northern California, we'll be protesting for Commander X, and the next in-person hearing for him will take place. And that'll be a big court date for him, because I'm pretty sure that's when they'll start negotiating a plea deal. And me, Keith McHenry, and whoever else comes will be outside there protesting. So yeah, I think that's all I have to promo with regards to protest. And I have a Hive blog. It's at Zero Eclipse with 2 E's at the end. So you can go and follow there. Haven't written anything in a while because I've been writing so much for school. But yeah, I'll come up with something. That's my outro.
All right, that was great. That was beautiful. Good job. Not awkward at all, I promise. So I'm Misty.
Fuck you.
No, I just said that, and then I went into my awkward. Come on, dude.
I have an excuse because I've been in independent media the least time out of us here. So.
I have an excuse.
No,
I'm awkward.
Misty hasn't done it that long either.
No, I haven't done it that long either.
Yeah, Misty may actually be a little bit shorter than you, because she didn't start the show until she hopped on here with us.
You started doing stuff with Convo long before I started doing anything with A4A.
Yeah, but that was like when I was in protest mode, and they would just like hand me the mic when I was fired up, and I'd be like, "Y'all some motherfucking bootlicking cunts."
Well, how is that different from you on a show, though? That's just you on a show, really. I mean, right? I'm pretty sure you used that exact phrase tonight. In fact, I'm just saying.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm Misty. Hi, I'm Misty. You can find me on Twitter at Sarcasm Stardust. I have another show called Facts on the Ground with Jesse Zerwell. I have a show called Bitch with Comrade Misty every Wednesday at 7. I just had Liv on, who again was arrested today. Please go support her however you are able to. Her Twitter is at Liv_Romano. So she was just on Wednesday.
Has a fundraiser up for him.
Yeah. She was just on Wednesday. This coming Wednesday, I'm going to have, honestly, I don't even remember who all is coming, but a bunch of people from March for Medicare for All are coming because they have a bunch of events coming on. They're going to do a Day of the Dead protest outside of Nancy Pelosi's house, which is awesome. Yeah, they're going to be on this Wednesday. The Wednesday after that, we're actually going to have an Assange fams. We met him in DC, I think in January, if I remember correctly. You guys probably know him as Coy Contrarian on Twitter. So he's going to be on the Wednesday following after that. I still need to get Chris rescheduled, so maybe I can get him on the week after that. I don't know. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up. I'm trying to think if just the stuff that I posted earlier. The Craig Murray stuff, he's in a new location. The Daniel Hale, he's been now moved to a more permanent location. So if you guys can write to them, please do so. If you can support them. Daniel Hale also has a fundraiser up. I should find that too. But he definitely could use some help in legal fees, getting himself settled once he gets released from prison, because hopefully he won't be there for too long. He may get out early. And then, yeah, I think that's all I have. I don't know. Fuck it. I always forget shit. I don't care. Whatever. Go, Andrew, go.
My name's Andrew Smith. You can follow me on Twitter at Andrew Zigman. You can follow us at action_4 Also on Rockfin, if you're watching on the GooTubes right now, rockfin.com/A for A. You can find us there. Please don't give us money there. Give like real content creators money there. I don't even have a wallet hooked up to it yet. So please give it to real people that can use it for their content and the things that they do, because there's a lot of people that fund themselves.
Slow News Day, Combo Couch, Frank Analysis, Nico House,
Jason Burmis.
Yeah, Jason Burmis, Whitney Webb.
Slow News Day.
I said that already.
I know.
Slow News Day again.
Steve Cutler Live is coming up after this, not on our channel. But
I think Lucky put the link in the chat, fams.
Yes,
go forth.
Go check them out.
Entertain yourselves.
But huge thank you to everyone that joined us. Next week, we're probably going to have Paula Jean Swearingen and Reality Winner's mother on with. It's just how scheduling ends up working. It's fun. It's weird. And I think there's like 2 other people in the background. But keep shout out to Josh too, jumping in, giving us a hand with this. Make sure everything ran smooth.
Go to Abort You at Abort You, ABORTU on Twitter, and he has a Buy Me a Coffee link there. Please go and support Sleepy Josh, the greatest tech ninja on planet Earth.
Buy him a coffee, guys.
Yeah, do it. He needs his name is Sleepy Josh. He needs coffee. Go.
I'm literally about to make coffee.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out, and we will see you. Oh, well, I guess we should probably tell people, because we're doing new vigil times on Fridays.
Oh, right.
We probably should have said that.
We're so good at this. We're so fucking good at this.
So goddamn.
See, look at the example that you guys are setting for me, and I have awkward outros. Look at my fucking examples.
Shit wrong, y'all. Shit wrong.
Hey, nobody said I was a role model. I'm nobody's role model. Yeah, Fridays now, bitches. Fridays, 9 p.m.
Sorry.
Well, that's it. Just
Sorry, Andrew. We're stepping all over your outro.
Money that you have. Get your candles event started if you don't already have one and aren't planning on attending one. Be your candles for Assange event locally. Yeah, and fuck Netflix.
Fuck Netflix.
Yeah.
And fuck the CIA, but that's like a given.
Yeah. Goes without saying.
And fuck Joe Bezos.
And fuck Scientology.
Yeah, those guys too. They're weird.
They're really weird.
All right, this is gonna turn into Festivus.
All right. Bye, guys. Love you.
Love ya.
Go check out Cutler.
Yeah.